Everything you experience in life starts with where you place your attention. The ideas you think about, the goals you focus on, and the energy you put into certain actions shape what you see, what you attract, and the opportunities that come your way. This audiobook is about understanding that simple principle and learning how to use it to improve your life. It will guide you step by step to focus your mind, control your emotions, and take consistent action that produces real results. You will discover practical ways to train your thoughts, build confidence, and maintain discipline. You will learn how to recognize what is holding you back, how to let go of unnecessary worry, and how to surround yourself with people and ideas that lift you higher. Every chapter offers actionable advice that you can start using immediately, showing you how to shift your mindset, strengthen your habits, and create a life that reflects what matters most to you. This audiobook is not about luck or chance. It is about deliberate choices, daily habits, and a mindset that draws opportunities to you naturally. By the end, you will have a clear understanding of how your focus influences your results and how to take control of your life in practical ways. Pay close attention because the steps shared here are simple but powerful. They will challenge your thinking, expand your perspective, and give you tools to attract the results you want. If you are ready to take control of your life, strengthen your mind, and start seeing real progress, this audiobook will guide you to make that happen. Chapter 1. Focus your energy daily on what truly matters most. Everything in your life begins with you. Every dream, every change, every transformation starts from the inside. You can read countless books, listen to endless speeches, or seek advice from the world's greatest minds, but until you decide to start with yourself, nothing truly changes. You are the root of your own growth. You are the source of your own transformation. The world around you is simply a reflection of what's happening within you. If you want to see something different out there, you must begin by working on what's in here. Starting with yourself is not about being selfish. It's about taking full responsibility for your own life. Most people live reacting to what happens around them. They complain about their circumstances, they blame others, and they wait for luck to shift in their favor. But real power begins the moment you decide that you are responsible for everything that happens in your life. That mindset changes everything. It shifts you from being a victim of life to being the creator of it. When you start with yourself, you stop waiting for external change and begin shaping your internal world, which eventually transforms everything you touch. The truth is, you can't control the world. You can't control how people treat you, what they say, or what opportunities come your way, but you can control your attitude, your habits, and your focus. You can control how you respond. You can control the energy you bring to every situation. That's where your power lies, not in changing others, but in changing yourself first. The greatest victories you will ever experience are not against people, but against your own limitations. When you start with yourself, you make a commitment to stop running from your own reflection. You begin to look at your strengths, your flaws, your fears, and your habits with honesty. Most people avoid this because it's uncomfortable. It's easier to distract yourself than to sit with your own truth. But growth demands courage, the courage to face yourself without judgment, without excuses, and without denial. That's where transformation begins. When you can say, "This is where I am, and this is what I must change," you have already taken the first real step toward mastery. Every day offers you the chance to begin again. You don't need a new year, a perfect plan, or anyone's approval. You just need a decision, the decision to start with yourself. Each morning when you wake up, you have two choices: repeat the same patterns as yesterday or rise with new intention. The universe responds to clarity and consistency. When you commit to improving yourself, even in small ways, life begins to open up. New opportunities, new people, and new energy begin to flow toward you because you've raised your own vibration. Starting with yourself means owning your mornings. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If you begin your day distracted, rushed, and reactive, you're handing your power to the world before you even take your first breath of focus. But if you begin your day with stillness, reflection, and purpose, you anchor yourself in control. Spend a few moments each morning in silence. Ask yourself, what truly matters today? Direct your attention to what's meaningful, not what's urgent, because not everything that demands your attention deserves your energy. Many people confuse business with progress. They think being constantly occupied means they're growing, but growth doesn't come from motion alone. It comes from intentional action. You could spend all day running in circles and still end up where you started. To start with yourself means to pause, think, and act with clarity. Ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Are you moving because of fear or because of purpose? Are you working to prove something or to create something? The difference between those two is the difference between exhaustion and fulfillment. Every great change begins quietly, internally, and personally. When you improve your mindset, when your choices shift. When your choices shift, your habits evolve. And when your habits evolve, your entire life takes a new shape. But none of that happens if you're focused on what others are doing. Comparison is one of the biggest traps that stop people from improving themselves. You can't start with yourself if your eyes are constantly on everyone else's progress. You don't need to be like anyone. You only need to be better than who you were yesterday. Every small improvement counts because every small improvement builds momentum. Starting with yourself means becoming deeply aware of your thoughts. Your thoughts shape your emotions, and your emotions influence your actions. Most people let their thoughts run wild, jumping from worry to distraction to negativity without even noticing. But when you start observing your thoughts, you begin to see patterns, fears that repeat, beliefs that limit, doubts that whisper. Awareness is the beginning of freedom. Once you become aware of the thoughts that drain your power, you can replace them with thoughts that fuel it. You don't have to believe every thought that enters your mind. You have the power to choose what stays and what leaves. One of the most powerful things you can do when starting with yourself is to simplify your life. The more clutter you have, physical, emotional, or mental, the harder it is to focus. Simplify your environment so your mind can breathe. Clean your space, organize your priorities, and eliminate the noise. Create room for what truly matters. The universe rewards clarity. When you send out mixed signals, saying you want one thing but living another, life stays confused. But when your actions, values, and focus align, everything begins to flow naturally. Self-mastery begins with self-honesty. You can't change what you refuse to acknowledge. Ask yourself the hard questions. Am I living with intention? Am I keeping my promises to myself? Am I consistent in what I say and what I do? Discipline doesn't come from perfection, it comes from integrity. Every time you keep a small promise to yourself, you build trust in your own word. And trust in yourself is the foundation of confidence. You don't need validation from others when you know you can rely on your own commitment. Starting with yourself also means forgiving yourself. You cannot move forward while dragging the weight of past mistakes. Everyone has failed, fallen short, and made choices they regret. But dwelling on the past is like trying to walk with your feet chained to the ground. You must release the guilt to move forward. Learn from your past. Don't live in it. Every mistake you made was a lesson in disguise. The universe doesn't punish you for your errors, it teaches you through them. Once you extract the lesson, you're free to grow stronger and wiser. Self-awareness grows through silence. Most people fear silence because it confronts them with their own thoughts. But silence is where you hear your truth. It's where you find direction and peace. Take time daily to disconnect from noise, phones, screens, people, and just breathe. Notice how your mind settles when you stop chasing stimulation. That calmness is not emptiness, it's strength. From that space, you can see clearly what needs attention in your life. You can see where you've been scattered and where you need to focus. Starting with yourself is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong practice. Every season of life will ask you to evolve again. There will be moments when you feel lost, uninspired, or uncertain, but those moments are not setbacks, they're signals. They're reminders to return to your center. When life feels chaotic, It's often because you've been too focused on everything outside of you. Pause, breathe, and return to yourself. Reconnect with what you can control: your mindset, your habits, your choices. That's where peace begins again. One of the biggest lessons in life is realizing that external success means little without inner stability. You can achieve goals, make money, and earn recognition, but if your inner world is in chaos, none of it feels fulfilling. Peace is not found in things, it's found in alignment. When your actions match your values and your words reflect your truth, you feel at peace. Start with yourself to create that alignment. Ask yourself, is this path aligned with who I truly am? If the answer is no, have the courage to change direction. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly giving your time and energy to others without replenishing yourself, you will eventually burn out. Starting with yourself means prioritizing self-care not as a luxury, but as a responsibility. You cannot serve the world effectively if you're running on exhaustion. Take care of your body with rest, movement, and nourishment. Take care of your mind with learning, reflection, and stillness. Take care of your soul with gratitude and purpose. When you're balanced within, your contribution to the world becomes more powerful. A key part of starting with yourself is taking full ownership of your energy. Notice how you feel in different situations. If certain people or habits drain you, pay attention. Your energy is your life force. Protect it fiercely. You don't owe your presence to every person or every problem. Learn to say no to what disrupts your peace. When you say no to the wrong things, you make space for the right ones. Boundaries are not walls. They're filters that protect your focus and preserve your strength. Every morning is a chance to start again. Don't wait for motivation to appear. Build it through action. Motivation grows when you see yourself keeping promises. When you take even one small action toward your goals, you feel momentum. That momentum builds confidence, and confidence builds discipline. You don't need to overhaul your entire life in one day. Just take one meaningful step each day in the direction of your purpose. Over time, those small steps compound into transformation. Remember that growth isn't always visible. Sometimes you'll be working hard with no obvious results, but that doesn't mean progress isn't happening. Growth often happens quietly, beneath the surface. Like a seed under the soil, you must trust that your effort is building roots. Keep going even when no one notices. Keep improving even when it feels slow. The universe rewards persistence. When you do your part consistently, life will meet you halfway in ways you cannot predict. When you start with yourself, you stop chasing validation. You no longer need people to approve of your choices or understand your vision. You understand that your life doesn't have to make sense to anyone but you. You begin to live from conviction, not from comparison. That's where true freedom begins. When your worth is no longer tied to external opinions, you realize that peace of mind is worth more than popularity, and self-respect is worth more than approval. The path of self-mastery requires patience. You will make progress, and you will stumble. Some days you'll feel clear and strong, other days you'll feel lost and uncertain, but that's part of the process. Growth is not linear. What matters is that you return to your commitment daily. Keep choosing progress over comfort. Keep choosing responsibility over excuses. Keep showing up even when it's difficult. The discipline to begin again is what separates those who dream from those who live their dreams. Starting with yourself also means being mindful of your internal dialogue. How you speak to yourself determines how you show up in the world. If your inner voice is harsh and critical, you'll carry that energy into everything you do. Speak to yourself with respect and compassion. When you make a mistake, don't tear yourself down. Learn, adjust, and continue. The way you treat yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. Be firm but kind with yourself, strong but patient. As you grow, your environment may not understand your transformation. People who were comfortable with your old self may feel uneasy with your new boundaries or focus. That's okay. Growth naturally creates distance from what no longer aligns. Don't shrink yourself to fit old versions of your life. Keep evolving. Those who are meant to walk beside you will grow too. You are not here to please the crowd. You are here to become your highest self. To start with yourself is to accept that lasting change takes time. Quick results fade as quickly as they appear, but disciplined effort builds unshakable foundations. If you want a strong life, build it brick by brick. Be patient with your progress. A day of good habits may not show immediate reward, but a year of consistency will change everything. The universe responds to consistency more than intensity. Do a little every day with purpose, and over time, your life will transform. Remember, you don't need to wait for the perfect moment to begin. The perfect moment is now. Every moment you hesitate is a moment of potential lost. You are capable of more than you think, but capability means nothing without action. Stop waiting for permission to grow. Stop waiting for circumstances to align. Start with yourself, and life will begin to move in your favor. When you take ownership of your path, you awaken the energy that turns intention into reality. Every person who has ever changed their life began with one decision: to stop blaming and start building. You have that same power. You can rebuild your habits, your mindset, and your direction. No matter how far off course you've gone, you can always return to yourself. The moment you take that first step, the universe begins to respond. It sends guidance, opportunities, and clarity, but only after you've moved. The universe provides for those who take responsibility for their own growth. Starting with yourself is not a temporary motivation, it's a lifelong practice of awareness, integrity, and renewal. It means being accountable, not just when things are easy, but especially when they're not. It means staying calm under pressure, patient through uncertainty, and kind in chaos. It means building a life that reflects your values, not your fears. The external world may shift, but when you're grounded in yourself, you remain steady. That is real strength. In the end, everything you seek, peace, success, love, purpose, begins within you. When you start with yourself, you stop chasing and start attracting. You stop waiting and start creating. You stop doubting and start believing. You begin to realize that the universe is not withholding anything from you. It's waiting for you to align with what you desire. The more you focus on growing from within, the more life will mirror that growth on the outside. Start today. Start small. Start with yourself. Because when you do, everything else begins to follow. You are the seed of every future you desire. Water it daily with discipline, nurture it with gratitude, and protect it with belief. The universe will meet you where you are, but it will only move when you do. So start with yourself, and watch how the world begins to change in response to your inner strength, clarity, and commitment. Chapter 2. Hey, train your mind to see opportunities, not obstacles. The mind is the lens through which you experience everything in life. Two people can face the same situation and walk away with completely different outcomes. One sees a dead end, the other sees a doorway. The difference lies not in the circumstance, but in how the mind interprets it. Training your mind to see opportunities instead of obstacles is one of the most powerful shifts you can make. It doesn't mean pretending challenges don't exist. It means teaching yourself to look deeper, to find what can be built, learned, or gained from every situation, no matter how difficult it appears. Growth begins when you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I do with this?" Every challenge in life carries hidden value. It could be a lesson, a chance to grow stronger, or an opportunity to change direction. The problem is, most people never pause long enough to see beyond the struggle. They get stuck in frustration, and that frustration blinds them to solutions. Training your mind means interrupting that reaction. When something goes wrong, the instinct is to resist, complain, or panic. But the moment you slow down and breathe, your perspective shifts. You begin to respond consciously rather than react emotionally. That simple pause creates space for wisdom. It allows you to see options where you once saw only limitations. A powerful mind is not one that never experiences fear or doubt, but one that knows how to redirect that energy. Fear is not a signal to stop, it's a sign that you are entering unfamiliar territory. Growth always feels uncomfortable at first. When you train your mind to associate discomfort with progress rather than danger, you stop running from the very experiences that are meant to shape you. Every time you face something difficult and stay steady, your resilience grows. That's how mental strength is built, not through ease, but through practice. Your perspective determines your reality. If you constantly tell yourself that life is against you, you will subconsciously search for evidence to confirm that belief. You'll notice every problem, every setback, and every obstacle. But when you begin to tell yourself that life is working for you, even the smallest difficulties start to feel like stepping stones. Your mind begins to filter information differently. It starts to look for what's useful, not what's wrong. That mental shift changes how you interpret your experiences, and your external world begins to reflect that new inner lens. You have the power to choose how you see your circumstances. This isn't just positive thinking, it's conscious thinking. It's choosing to approach life with curiosity instead of complaint. When something blocks your path, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? How can this situation make me better? The question you ask your mind determines the answers it gives you. If you ask helpless questions, you'll get helpless answers. But if you ask empowering questions, you'll unlock empowering insights. That's how you begin to train your mind to focus on opportunities, even in difficulty. Most people underestimate how much control they have over their thoughts. They assume their thoughts are automatic, but the truth is, your mind follows your attention. If you constantly feed it fear, drama, and negativity, it will learn to survive on that diet. But if you feed it inspiration, learning, and gratitude, it begins to thrive. You can't plant weeds and expect flowers to grow. Be intentional about what you expose your mind to. What you read, watch, and listen to every day shapes how you think. Choose information that expands your understanding, not content that keeps you stuck in frustration. The greatest opportunities often come disguised as problems. History is filled with examples of people who turned adversity into advantage simply because they refused to give up. Every obstacle carries a question. Will you let this define you, or will you use it to refine you? The mind trained for growth sees obstacles as raw material for strength. When you learn to view setbacks as feedback, you stop fearing them. You start using them. Even failure becomes fuel. It shows you what doesn't work, which is just another step toward discovering what does. One of the best ways to train your mind is through reflection. Spend a few minutes each day asking yourself what went well and what didn't. Notice how you reacted to challenges. Did you focus on the problem, or did you look for solutions? Reflection builds awareness, and awareness builds control. Over time, you begin to catch your negative thoughts before they take over. You become more conscious of the stories you tell yourself, and you start rewriting them in real time. That's how transformation happens, not through massive overnight change, but through consistent mental training. You can't control every event in your life, but you can control the meaning you attach to it. The same storm that destroys one person's spirit can strengthen another's resolve. The difference is mindset. When you train your mind to see opportunity, you teach yourself to search for meaning, not misery. You ask, how can this make me wiser, kinder, or more disciplined? That kind of thinking turns pain into purpose. And once you give your challenges meaning, they lose their power to defeat you. Your language plays a powerful role in shaping how your mind perceives reality. Pay attention to the words you use when describing your life. Do you say, I'm stuck? Or do you say, I'm figuring things out? The mind listens to your words as instructions. Every time you speak in terms of limitation, you reinforce those limitations. But when you speak in terms of progress, you begin to reprogram your thinking. Replace, I can't, with I'm learning to. Replace, this is impossible, with this will take effort. Language is a tool. Use it to direct your mind toward growth. When you face an obstacle, remind yourself that it's not the end of the road. It's part of the road. The path to success is never straight. It's filled with turns, blocks, and challenges that test your willpower, but each test has a purpose to prepare you for the next level. The moment you stop seeing problems as interruptions and start seeing them as instruction, you begin to develop mental endurance. You stop breaking under pressure and start growing through it. That shift changes everything. Focus is another key component of training your mind. Whatever you focus on expands. If you constantly focus on what's wrong, your mind becomes excellent at finding more things that are wrong. But if you focus on progress, even small wins, your brain begins to notice and amplify them. Each day, take time to acknowledge what went right, what you improved, and what you learned. This practice trains your mind to identify progress and opportunity automatically. Over time, optimism becomes your default state, not because life gets easier, but because you've trained yourself to see through the noise. Gratitude strengthens this perspective. When you actively appreciate what's going well, you train your brain to notice abundance instead of scarcity. Gratitude doesn't ignore problems, it balances them with perspective. It reminds you that even on hard days, there's still something to be thankful for. That shift reduces fear, calms the mind, and clears space for creativity. When your mind is calm, it can see opportunities that chaos would normally hide. Gratitude keeps your vision open when stress tries to narrow it. Adversity is the ultimate training ground for the mind. It teaches patience, flexibility, and humility. Every obstacle you face gives you the chance to build a new mental muscle. When you encounter resistance, don't ask for it to disappear. Ask for the strength to handle it better. That approach transforms frustration into fuel. It's not about having a perfect mindset all the time. It's about developing the awareness to redirect it whenever it starts drifting toward negativity. Over time, that redirection becomes instinctive. To truly train your mind, you must practice consistency. Change doesn't come from reading about new ideas, it comes from living them. Each day, practice catching negative thoughts and reframing them. When things go wrong, pause and ask, where is the opportunity in this? When someone challenges you, see it as a chance to practice patience. When a plan fails, see it as feedback to refine your strategy. Life becomes lighter when your mind learns to bend instead of break. A disciplined mind is a free mind. When you can control your thoughts, emotions, and reactions, you become unshakable. You no longer depend on external circumstances for stability. That inner steadiness allows you to take risks, create solutions, and face uncertainty without losing direction. This is not a gift you're born with. It's a skill you develop through awareness and practice. Every day is a new opportunity to strengthen that skill. As you train your mind, you'll begin to notice subtle changes. You'll complain less and create more. You'll judge less and understand more. You'll fear less and act more. These shifts won't happen overnight, but they will happen if you stay consistent. Your mind is like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you challenge it. Each time you choose optimism over fear, you're building strength. Each time you turn a problem into a lesson, you're growing. Eventually, you reach a point where your perspective becomes your greatest asset. You stop waiting for the world to be easy and start becoming stronger than your circumstances. You begin to understand that opportunities are not things you find, they're things you create through awareness, discipline, and resilience. That's when life starts to open up in new ways. Doors you once thought were closed begin to appear. Paths you never noticed become visible. When your mind is trained to see opportunities, nothing can truly defeat you. Setbacks become signals, failure becomes feedback, and challenges become catalysts for growth. You realize that the only real obstacle was your own perception. Change the way you see the world, and the world changes in response. That is the power of a trained mind, one that looks beyond the surface, finds strength in struggle, and turns every moment into a chance to rise higher. Chapter 30. Build unshakable belief that the universe supports you. Belief is the foundation of everything you build in life. Before you can create change, you must first believe that change is possible. The strength of your belief determines how much resistance you can handle, how much hope you can hold, and how much courage you can summon when things get difficult. Building unshakable belief that the universe supports you is about trusting that life is not happening against you, but for you. It's understanding that even when things seem uncertain, there is a deeper order guiding your steps. When you truly internalize this, you stop doubting the path you're on and begin walking it with quiet confidence. Every person carries an invisible dialogue about life, a narrative that defines how they interpret their experiences. Some believe they are unlucky, destined to struggle or constantly being tested. Others carry an unbreakable conviction that everything works out for them eventually. This difference in belief shapes the direction of their lives. When you choose to see the universe as a partner instead of an enemy, your entire relationship with life changes. You move from fear to trust, from control to flow, from scarcity to abundance. The energy you bring into the world begins to align with what you believe to be true. Unshakable belief is not blind optimism. It's not pretending everything is perfect or refusing to see reality. It's the quiet, steady knowing that whatever happens, there is a reason behind it, a lesson, a preparation, or a redirection. Even pain can serve a purpose. You may not see it immediately, but faith allows you to keep moving without needing all the answers. The universe often reveals its plan in pieces, not all at once. Those who learn to trust the process find peace long before the outcome arrives. Belief grows through evidence, and evidence appears when you pay attention. Look back on your life. Remember the moments you thought you wouldn't make it, but somehow you did. Think about the time something didn't go your way, only for it to lead to something better later. These are not coincidences. They are reminders that life has been working in your favor all along. But you only recognize this truth when you slow down and reflect. Gratitude strengthens belief because it shifts your focus from what's missing to what's been provided. Every blessing you acknowledge becomes proof that the universe has always supported you. To build unshakable belief, you must learn to quiet the voice of doubt. Doubt is the mind's way of protecting you from disappointment, but if left unchecked, it becomes a cage. The mind wants certainty. The universe thrives on trust. There will be times when logic tells you to quit, when circumstances seem impossible, and when fear whispers that you're wasting your effort. That's when belief must take over. Belief is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It carries you through the space where results have not yet appeared, but faith insists they will. Believing that the universe supports you doesn't mean you sit back and wait for miracles. It means you take action with confidence, knowing that every step you take will meet support in some form. When your intentions are clear and your actions are consistent, unseen forces begin to align with your purpose. The right people appear, the right ideas flow, and opportunities open in unexpected ways. It's not magic, it's alignment. When your inner world and your outer actions move in the same direction, life responds. Many people struggle to build belief because they expect evidence first. They say, "I'll believe it when I see it." But life doesn't work that way. The universe responds to belief, not hesitation. You see it when you believe it. Every invention, every breakthrough, every success story began with someone who believed before there was proof. Faith creates the space for reality to catch up. Belief is the seed, and results are the fruit. If you refuse to plant the seed until you see the fruit, you'll never experience the harvest. A strong belief system must be built intentionally. Feed your mind with stories of perseverance, growth, and triumph. Surround yourself with people who uplift your faith rather than weaken it. Limit the voices that feed fear or cynicism. The more you expose your mind to doubt, the harder it becomes to stay centered. Protect your belief the way you would protect your most valuable possession. What you believe about life eventually becomes the filter through which you experience it. Choose to see life as a supportive force rather than a constant battle. When you trust that the universe supports you, patience becomes easier. You stop rushing the process and start focusing on your preparation. You understand that timing is as important as effort. Sometimes life delays what you want because it's giving you time to become who you need to be to handle it. If things aren't happening yet, it's not punishment, it's preparation. The universe will not give you something you're not ready to sustain. When you believe this deeply, you stay calm even when progress feels slow, because you know everything unfolds exactly when it should. Belief is strengthened by alignment between your thoughts, words, and actions. If you say you believe that good things are coming, but your actions show doubt, your energy sends mixed signals. Speak and act from the place of faith. Carry yourself as though what you desire is already on its way. This isn't pretending, It's embodying belief. The universe responds to consistency. When your words and actions are unified, you become a magnet for the outcomes you seek. Your energy begins to attract situations that match your conviction. One of the greatest obstacles to unshakable belief is the need for control. Many people lose faith because they want to dictate exactly how and when things should happen. But true belief means surrendering the how and trusting the why. You are responsible for effort, not outcomes. When you fixate on controlling every detail, you block the flow of possibilities. The universe works best when you focus on what you can do and release what you can't. Surrender is not giving up, it's choosing peace over tension, trust over fear. Another powerful way to strengthen your belief is through intention. When you live with intention, your actions become more meaningful. Each morning, set a clear intention for how you want to show up in the world. Direct your focus toward purpose, not perfection. Intention tells the universe what direction to send its energy. When your purpose is pure and your motives are grounded, unseen doors begin to open. The universe has a way of guiding those who move with clarity. You will face moments that test your belief. These tests are not punishments, they are opportunities to deepen your trust. Faith that has never been tested remains fragile. When you hold your belief through uncertainty, it strengthens like a muscle under resistance. Every time you choose trust over panic, your inner stability grows. Over time, challenges that once triggered doubt will no longer shake you. You'll handle uncertainty with calm assurance because you've experienced enough evidence to know that things always work out in the end. When you build unshakable belief, you stop living in fear of the unknown. You begin to welcome it as part of your journey. You understand that life is constantly moving, constantly rearranging itself to meet your intentions. What feels like chaos may actually be rearrangement for your growth. Belief allows you to stay centered even when circumstances shift. You stop fighting reality and start flowing with it, trusting that every movement has purpose. Believing that the universe supports you also means believing that you are worthy of that support. Many people struggle with faith not because they doubt the universe, but because they doubt themselves. They think they don't deserve success, peace, or happiness. But worthiness is not something you earn, it's something you remember. You were born deserving of love and opportunity. The universe doesn't reward perfection, it responds to sincerity. When you align your intentions with authenticity and effort, you become naturally supported by life itself. Gratitude strengthens your connection to the universe. When you appreciate what you already have, you signal that you trust life's generosity. Gratitude opens the door for more abundance. It trains your focus to notice blessings instead of gaps. Every time you express thanks, even silently, you reinforce the belief that the universe is already providing for you. Gratitude is the language through which the universe communicates back, confirming that support is always present. Building unshakable belief takes daily practice. Each day, choose to focus on trust rather than fear. When something doesn't go as planned, remind yourself that redirection is protection. When you face delay, remind yourself that preparation is happening in the unseen. When you feel doubt, breathe and remember the times life carried you through before. Every reminder strengthens your foundation. Over time, belief becomes your natural state, not because life is perfect, but because you've learned that everything, even imperfection, is part of a greater design. When belief becomes unshakable, peace becomes constant. You no longer waste energy on worry. You no longer chase outcomes out of fear. You move with faith, speak with confidence, and act with purpose. The universe mirrors that certainty back to you through synchronicities, opportunities, and moments of clarity that confirm you're on the right path. Life begins to feel lighter, not because it's easier, but because your heart has learned to trust. To believe that the universe supports you is to walk through life knowing you are never alone. Every sunrise, every lesson, every setback, and every breakthrough is part of the same grand design working in your favor. Once you embrace that truth, you no longer need to control every detail. You simply do your best, stay aligned, and trust the unfolding. The universe moves in response to your belief, and when your belief is unshakable, Nothing can stand in your way. Chapter 4. Practice gratitude daily to attract more positive experiences. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful forces that can transform your life. It's more than saying thank you, it's a way of seeing the world. When you practice gratitude daily, your focus begins to shift from what's missing to what's present, from frustration to appreciation, and from scarcity to abundance. The energy you carry determines the quality of your experiences, and gratitude is the bridge that connects you to more positive energy. It changes how you think, how you feel, and how you respond to life. Every time you choose gratitude, you open the door for more good to flow into your world. Many people think they'll feel grateful once they get what they want. But true gratitude works in the opposite direction. You don't wait for life to be perfect before appreciating it. You appreciate it, and then it becomes better. Gratitude is not a reward for having everything go right. It's a discipline that helps you find light even when things are unclear. When you wake up each day and consciously acknowledge the blessings around you, your breath, your health, your opportunities, your lessons, you tune your mind to see life differently. Gratitude is the lens that reveals abundance where others see lack. The practice of gratitude rewires the mind. Your brain naturally looks for problems because it's designed to protect you from danger. But when you make gratitude a habit, you train your brain to look for what's good instead of what's wrong. Over time, your thoughts begin to shift. You start noticing beauty in small details, kindness in unexpected places, and progress in moments you once overlooked. The more you notice the positive, the more the positive expands. What you focus on multiplies, and gratitude ensures that you are multiplying joy rather than worry. Gratitude also changes the way you handle challenges. When something difficult happens, your instinct might be to resist or complain. But a grateful mindset allows you to look for value even in hardship. It helps you ask, what can I learn from this? How is this shaping me? That shift in perspective transforms problems into teachers. You stop seeing life as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something that happens for you. Every situation, pleasant or painful, becomes a tool for growth. Gratitude gives meaning to your experiences and makes even the struggles worthwhile. Practicing gratitude daily builds emotional stability. When you appreciate what you have, you stop living in constant pursuit of what you lack. You begin to realize that peace is not found in getting more, but in recognizing what's already enough. This doesn't mean you stop dreaming or setting goals. It means you pursue those goals from a place of fullness, not emptiness. Gratitude grounds you. It keeps you centered in the present moment while still allowing you to aim higher. It teaches you that happiness doesn't come from the future, it comes from awareness. Gratitude also deepens your relationships. When you regularly express appreciation for the people in your life, you strengthen connection and trust. Everyone wants to feel seen and valued. A simple acknowledgement can lift someone's spirit more than you realize. When you make it a habit to notice kindness, support, or effort in others, you begin to attract more of it. Gratitude creates an environment where positivity grows naturally. The energy you give out returns multiplied. Relationships built on appreciation are more peaceful, more genuine, and more enduring. To cultivate gratitude, consistency matters more than intensity. A few sincere moments of appreciation each day can change how you feel about your entire life. One simple way to begin is to start and end each day by naming 3 things you're thankful for. They don't need to be grand or extraordinary. It could be a quiet morning, a good meal, or a meaningful conversation. When you name these moments consciously, you reinforce the idea that life is constantly giving to you. Over time, your mind becomes trained to seek these moments automatically. Another way to strengthen gratitude is through reflection. Take time regularly to look back at how far you've come. It's easy to forget your progress when you're focused on what's next. Gratitude helps you pause and appreciate the distance between who you were and who you are now. Every small victory, every challenge you overcame, and every lesson you learned is a sign of growth. When you recognize that, you build quiet confidence in yourself and in the journey you're on. Reflection turns gratitude from a fleeting feeling into a deeper understanding of your own resilience. The practice of gratitude also reduces stress. When you focus on appreciation, your body relaxes, your heart rate slows, and your mind becomes calm. You can't be grateful and anxious at the same time. Gratitude brings you back to the present moment, reminding you that right now you are safe and capable. It silences the noise of worry and helps you see life through a softer, clearer lens. Even in moments of uncertainty, gratitude reminds you that there is still goodness, still beauty, still something to hold on to. Gratitude is not dependent on circumstances. It's a choice you make regardless of them. There will be days when things don't go your way, when people disappoint you, or when plans fall apart. Those are the moments when gratitude matters most. Choosing appreciation in difficulty is not denial, it's strength. It's acknowledging that while life is imperfect, it is still valuable. The ability to find something to be thankful for in pain builds emotional resilience. It keeps your spirit strong when everything else feels unstable. The more you practice gratitude, the more sensitive you become to the subtle gifts of life. You start noticing small details, the warmth of sunlight, the sound of laughter, the calm of early mornings. These moments, often overlooked, begin to feel like treasures. Gratitude teaches you to slow down and pay attention. You start realizing that joy is not hidden in distant dreams but woven into the simple rhythm of everyday life. When you live with that awareness, you attract peace effortlessly because your energy is no longer chasing what's missing, it's celebrating what's here. Another profound effect of gratitude is how it attracts opportunities. When you operate from appreciation, you give off a calm and confident energy that draws people and possibilities toward you. Others feel safe and inspired around grateful people because gratitude radiates warmth. It shows that you trust life, and that trust becomes magnetic. Opportunities flow more easily to those who meet life with open hands instead of clenched fists. Gratitude aligns your energy with abundance, and abundance responds in return. To deepen your practice, express gratitude not just in thoughts but in action. Say thank you more often. Write messages of appreciation. Offer kindness without expecting anything back. Gratitude is most powerful when it becomes visible. The more you express it, the stronger it grows. Actions rooted in gratitude ripple outward. They inspire others to notice their own blessings. In that way, gratitude doesn't just improve your life, it uplifts the energy of everyone you encounter. When you live with gratitude, you become less reactive. Situations that once frustrated you lose their power because you've trained your focus on what's working instead of what's not. Gratitude gives you emotional control. You stop measuring your happiness by what you get and start measuring it by what you give. You begin to realize that every moment is an opportunity to create meaning, to share kindness, to learn or to grow. Gratitude turns ordinary days into sacred experiences. In moments of uncertainty, gratitude provides stability. It reminds you that you have survived before, that you have enough to begin again, and that life still contains endless possibilities. It keeps you grounded when fear tries to pull you apart. A grateful heart trusts that every season has a purpose, even the difficult ones. That trust brings peace. Gratitude doesn't eliminate struggle, but it gives you the strength to face it with grace. Practicing gratitude daily is not about ignoring reality. It's about choosing to see a fuller version of it. It's acknowledging the pain but also recognizing the good that exists alongside it. It's remembering that every breath, every connection, and every lesson is a gift. When gratitude becomes your natural state, life feels richer and more meaningful. You stop waiting for happiness to arrive in the future and begin experiencing it now, in this moment, exactly as it is. Each day you practice gratitude, you build a stronger foundation for joy. The more you appreciate, the more you attract to appreciate. The universe mirrors the energy you give it, and when that energy is gratitude, life responds with generosity. Positive experiences begin to flow, not because everything changes externally, but because you have changed internally. Gratitude shifts your vibration from scarcity to abundance, from resistance to acceptance, from wanting to receiving. When you wake up tomorrow, before doing anything else, Take a deep breath and feel thankful for being alive. Think of one reason to smile, one reason to hope, one reason to continue. No matter what's happening around you, gratitude gives you strength to move forward with clarity and peace. A grateful heart opens doors that force never could. The more you live in appreciation, the more the universe finds ways to give you even more reasons to be thankful. Gratitude is not just a habit, it is a way of living that turns every moment into a gift. Chapter 5T. Visualize your goals clearly until they feel real now. Visualization is the process of turning thoughts into mental images so powerful that they begin to shape reality. It's not about daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's about seeing your goals with such clarity that your mind starts believing they already exist. When you visualize your goals clearly and emotionally, you activate the same parts of the brain that light up when you're actually experiencing those events. Your brain cannot distinguish between vivid imagination and real experience. That's why the more clearly you see your goals, the more real they become to your subconscious mind. Once your subconscious accepts a vision as truth, your behavior begins to align naturally with that reality. Visualization is how you train your inner world to support your outer results. Every great achievement begins in the mind long before it appears in the physical world. The house was once an idea on paper. The business was once a vision in someone's thoughts. The invention was once a picture in someone's imagination. The clearer the vision, the stronger the drive to make it real. When you hold a picture of your future with precision and belief, your decisions start to move in harmony with it. The mind becomes a compass that points you toward your vision, guiding your actions even when the path isn't visible. To visualize effectively, you must move beyond vague desires. Saying, "I want to be successful," is too general. The mind cannot build what it cannot see. Define your goal so clearly that you can describe every detail of it. Picture where you are, what you're doing, how it feels, what it smells like, what colors surround you. The more sensory information you include, the more your brain accepts it as real. The key is emotional engagement. You have to feel the excitement, the pride, the peace, or the joy that comes with achieving your goal. That feeling becomes a signal that attracts experiences aligned with it. Visualization is most powerful when paired with repetition. You can't visualize once and expect instant transformation. The mind strengthens what it repeats. By revisiting your mental image daily, you're conditioning your thoughts to stay focused on your desired outcome. Over time, this practice reshapes your mindset. You begin to think, speak, and act from the perspective of the person who already has what you're working toward. That shift in identity is what bridges the gap between wanting and becoming. Consistency in visualization also trains your subconscious to filter reality differently. The mind processes millions of pieces of information every second, but you only notice what aligns with your focus. When you visualize your goals clearly, your brain begins to notice opportunities that were always there but previously invisible. This is not magic, it's focus. You start recognizing the people, resources, and ideas that can help you move forward because your awareness is tuned to what matters most. Visualization primes your perception for success. Belief plays a crucial role in making visualization effective. If you doubt your ability to achieve what you see, you weaken the connection between thought and reality. To visualize successfully, you must believe that what you see is possible for you. This belief doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you trust that you can learn, grow, and adjust until your vision becomes reality. Faith fuels persistence. When you visualize, remind yourself that you are not waiting for permission from the world to succeed. You are declaring to yourself that success is inevitable because you are becoming the person capable of achieving it. Visualization also strengthens emotional discipline. When life challenges you, it's easy to lose sight of your goals. But when your vision is clear, it becomes an anchor that steadies you through uncertainty. No matter what happens externally, you can return to that inner image and remind yourself of where you're going. That image keeps your focus alive when motivation fades. It helps you respond to difficulties with calm assurance instead of frustration. Your vision becomes your reason to persist when progress is slow or results are not yet visible. To visualize effectively, create quiet space daily. Sit still, close your eyes, and imagine your goal in vivid detail. Feel the emotions as if it's already done. Breathe deeply and allow your body to relax into the experience. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the image. Visualization is a skill that improves with practice. The clearer your imagination becomes, the faster your mind begins to accept the vision as truth. Eventually, the line between someday and no starts to blur, and your actions begin to align with what you've been visualizing. Visualization is not about fantasy, it's about preparation. You're training your mind to expect success, so when opportunities appear, you recognize and act on them. Athletes use visualization to mentally rehearse performance before stepping into the arena. Entrepreneurs use it to prepare for major presentations or decisions. Artists use it to see the final creation before the first brushstroke. The mind rehearses success long before the body executes it. By practicing your goal mentally, you reduce fear and increase confidence. You've already lived it in your imagination, so when it arrives, it feels natural. The emotional tone of your visualization matters deeply. If you imagine your goal but carry feelings of doubt or lack, your mind absorbs that confusion. Instead of asking, "Will this happen?" shift to, "This is happening." The energy behind your vision determines the energy of your results. Approach visualization with gratitude, not desperation. Be thankful for the goal as if it's already here. That gratitude creates calm certainty, and that certainty draws experiences that match it. The mind and universe both respond to conviction more than desire. Writing can also enhance visualization. Describe your goals in present tense as if they're already achieved. Use words that evoke feeling. I am proud. I am fulfilled. I am confident. Read your words daily, especially in the morning and before sleep, when your subconscious is most open. Visualization through writing reinforces the image with language, strengthening your belief each time you revisit it. Over time, those words stop being hopes and start feeling like truth. Visualization also requires alignment between thought and action. Seeing your goals clearly is the first step. Acting in harmony with that vision completes the process. If you visualize health but neglect your body, the image loses power. If you visualize success but avoid consistent effort, belief fades. Visualization works best when your actions prove your commitment. Every small decision that aligns with your vision reinforces it. Each aligned step sends a signal to your mind that the goal is real, accelerating the process of manifestation. Clarity in visualization also helps you stay focused on what truly matters. When your vision is strong, distractions lose their pull. You stop chasing things that don't serve your purpose because you can clearly see the destination ahead. The clearer the vision, the less temptation to waste time. Visualization acts as a mental filter, guiding your priorities and keeping your energy aligned with your highest goal. You begin to operate with intention rather than impulse. Another benefit of visualization is that it strengthens resilience. When setbacks occur, you don't see them as reasons to quit, you see them as part of the process. Because your vision feels real, temporary obstacles don't shake your belief. They simply become adjustments on the path. People who visualize consistently recover faster from disappointment because they never lose sight of where they're going. The picture in their mind remains brighter than the difficulty in front of them. That clarity gives strength to keep moving forward. Visualization also heightens creativity. When you regularly engage your imagination, you train your mind to think beyond limitations. You begin to see solutions others overlook because you've practiced thinking in pictures instead of problems. Visualization helps you see connections, possibilities, and innovations before they exist. It expands your mental flexibility, allowing you to navigate challenges with fresh ideas. The more vividly you can see what you want, the more easily your mind generates ways to achieve it. When visualization becomes part of your daily routine, your sense of identity begins to shift. You stop identifying with who you were and start living from who you're becoming. You speak, think, and act like the version of yourself that already has what you desire. That identity shift is what transforms potential into reality. You attract experiences that match your new level of awareness. Your external world reorganizes to reflect your internal image. That is the quiet power of consistent visualization. It turns intention into embodiment. Each day you visualize your goals, you strengthen the bridge between imagination and reality. The process teaches patience, focus, and confidence. You stop chasing success blindly and start creating it consciously. Over time, your vision becomes so familiar that it feels like memory rather than possibility. When that happens, success is no longer something you're pursuing, it's something you're living into. You begin to act, speak, and move as if it's already done, and soon it is. Clear visualization is not about escaping the present, it's about shaping it with intention. It connects your mind, emotion, and action into one powerful direction. When you see your goals so vividly that they feel real now, you dissolve the distance between dream and reality. Life begins to respond to your clarity with precision. The universe aligns with those who know what they want and believe it's already theirs. The more you see it in your mind, the sooner you'll hold it in your hands. Chapter 60. Speak with intention, because your words shape your reality. Words carry power far greater than most people realize. Every word spoken is a form of energy released into the world, shaping perception, influencing emotion, and guiding action. The way you speak defines not only how others see you, but also how you see yourself. When you speak with intention, you direct that power consciously instead of carelessly. You begin to use language as a tool for creation rather than destruction. Your words become the blueprint of your reality, carving paths for your thoughts and actions to follow. Every phrase you utter builds a structure in your mind. When you say you can, your energy rises to meet that statement. When you say you can't, your energy collapses before you've even begun. The human mind listens carefully to what the tongue repeats. Over time, your words become beliefs, and those beliefs shape your experience of the world. Speaking with intention means understanding that language is not just communication, it's manifestation. What you continually speak, you start to embody. Many people speak without awareness, using phrases that limit their potential without realizing it. They say, "I'm so unlucky," "I'll never get there," or "things never work out for me." These words might seem harmless, but each repetition reinforces a story of limitation. The mind accepts what it hears most often, whether it's empowering or disempowering. To speak with intention, you must become aware of the stories you're reinforcing through your language. You cannot build a strong life using weak words. Intentional speech begins with self-observation. Notice how you talk about yourself, your goals, and your life. Pay attention to the tone you use and the words that appear most frequently. Do they express confidence or doubt? Do they invite growth or discourage effort? Once you become aware, you gain the power to change them. Replace words that drain your energy with those that strengthen it. Say, "I'm learning" instead of "I'm failing." Say, "I'm improving" instead of "I can't." Each replacement rewires your inner dialogue toward possibility. Your words also influence the energy you bring into every space. When you speak with frustration, you spread tension. When you speak with kindness, you spread calm. Every conversation leaves an imprint, whether it builds bridges or walls. Speaking with intention means being mindful of that influence. It means choosing words that uplift instead of wound, guide instead of confuse, and encourage instead of criticize. You never know how deeply your words might impact someone, including yourself. A single phrase spoken with care can inspire hope that lasts for years. Intention behind speech doesn't only apply to what you say to others, but also to what you whisper to yourself in silence. Your inner dialogue is the foundation of your outer expression. When you constantly repeat negative thoughts internally, your external language mirrors that negativity. But when your inner speech is patient, disciplined, and encouraging, it becomes easier to carry that same energy into your spoken words. Speaking with intention begins in the mind long before it reaches the tongue. There's a direct relationship between clarity of thought and clarity of speech. When your mind is scattered, your words follow. Intentional language requires stillness and awareness. Before you speak, pause and ask yourself whether your words serve a purpose. Are they helpful? Are they true? Are they necessary? The pause between thought and speech is where wisdom lies. Most misunderstandings come not from malice but from haste. When you speak after reflection, your words carry weight, and your message carries meaning. Intentional speech also means recognizing that words can either build or break trust. People remember not only what you say, but how consistently you live by it. When your words match your actions, others feel safe around you. Integrity in speech creates reliability. It shows discipline, maturity, and respect. Empty promises and careless statements weaken your credibility, both in your own eyes and in the eyes of others. But when you speak with precision and follow through, your words gain the power to move people. Your language sets the emotional tone of your life. If you constantly describe your day as stressful or exhausting, your brain starts to expect those emotions. But if you use words like productive, meaningful, or balanced, your experience begins to shift. Words shape perception, and perception shapes reality. By changing how you describe your world, you change how you experience it. Speaking positively isn't about ignoring problems, it's about framing them in a way that empowers you to solve them. The way you speak about your future also determines how confidently you move toward it. Saying, "I hope this happens," communicates uncertainty. Saying, "I'm creating this outcome," communicates conviction. Your words should carry the energy of ownership. Hope is fragile, but intention is firm. Speak as if your future depends on your commitment rather than luck. The more you affirm your direction, the stronger your momentum becomes. Confidence begins with consistent language that supports your purpose. Intentional speech also demands restraint. Silence can sometimes be more powerful than unnecessary words. When you resist the urge to react emotionally, you protect your energy and clarity. Not every situation requires your opinion, and not every emotion needs to be voiced immediately. Thoughtful silence is not weakness, it's control. It gives you time to process, understand, and respond with intention instead of impulse. Words spoken in calm reflection carry far more influence than those spoken in anger. To speak with intention is to honor the weight of language. Every promise you make, every affirmation you repeat, and every truth you share adds to the foundation of your character. Use words as tools of alignment between who you are and who you want to be. If you wish to cultivate strength, speak in ways that express strength. If you wish to radiate peace, let your tone reflect calm. Your words are not separate from you. They are extensions of your inner world. Refine them, and you refine yourself. Be aware also that the words you use to describe others reveal your mindset. Speaking negatively about people keeps you trapped in judgment. Speaking with understanding releases you from it. When you look for good in others and voice it sincerely, you train your mind to focus on the positive qualities of life as a whole. Your language toward others is a reflection of how you see the world. The more compassionate your words, the more compassionate your perspective becomes. Intentional communication can also heal. When you express forgiveness, gratitude, or love openly, you invite peace into your life. Holding back positive words out of pride or fear disconnects you from others. People rarely forget the kindness expressed through genuine words. A simple "thank you" or "I appreciate you" can restore harmony where silence once built distance. Words used to heal are acts of courage. They dissolve tension and strengthen connection. To maintain intentional speech, you must practice awareness daily. This awareness doesn't mean being rigid or overly cautious. It means being deliberate. When you notice negativity slipping into your speech, correct it without judgment. Replace it with clarity and confidence. Over time, this practice becomes natural. Your words begin to align effortlessly with your values. You find yourself speaking less to impress and more to express truth. You communicate not to win arguments, but to create understanding. Intentional words also influence your energy before action. Before beginning a task, affirm your capability. Tell yourself you are prepared, focused, and capable of handling what comes. When you start something new with empowering language, your mind follows the command. Self-talk like, "I can handle this," or "I will figure this out," activates persistence and creativity. Your speech becomes a signal to your subconscious, guiding your state of being. The more consistently you use language that uplifts, the stronger your internal belief system becomes. Speaking with intention also means knowing when to use words to inspire. Encourage those around you by noticing their effort and progress. Your words can ignite motivation in others that lasts far beyond the moment. Intentional speech creates ripples. You never know when a sincere compliment or thoughtful encouragement might shift someone's perspective. By speaking consciously, you participate in shaping not just your own reality, but also the emotional environment of those who cross your path. When you start living with awareness of your language, you'll notice a shift in your overall state of being. Your thoughts become clearer, your relationships become healthier, and your goals feel more attainable. The universe responds to the frequency of your speech because your words carry your belief, and belief creates movement. Speak from conviction, not doubt. Speak from peace, not fear. Speak from truth, not habit. Over time, speaking with intention becomes second nature. You no longer need to force positivity. It flows naturally because your internal world has shifted to match it. You begin to feel more aligned with your purpose because your words and actions are finally in harmony. Each sentence becomes a reflection of awareness and strength. Your reality is constantly being shaped by the language you use today. Choose your words as carefully as you choose your actions, because both create ripples that return to you. When you speak with intention, you turn your voice into a tool for creation. You begin to write your life in real time through the energy of your language. Speak as though your words matter, because they always do. Chapter 7a. Act consistently on what aligns with your deepest purpose. Purpose gives direction to your life, but consistency gives it power. Knowing what matters most means little unless you live it every day. Acting consistently on what aligns with your deepest purpose requires clarity, courage, and discipline. It means making choices that reflect who you truly are, not who the world expects you to be. It means showing up for your values even when it's inconvenient. Many people feel lost not because they lack purpose, but because they ignore it in their daily decisions. The real transformation begins when you stop treating your purpose as an idea and start treating it as a standard for action. Every person carries an inner calling, something that feels meaningful beyond comfort, profit, or praise. That calling may whisper softly, asking you to grow, create, serve, or change something within yourself or around you. But the voice of purpose can easily be drowned out by noise, distraction, or fear. Acting consistently means giving that inner voice authority over your schedule and choices. When you prioritize what truly matters, your energy becomes directed, your time becomes sacred, and your progress becomes steady. Purpose doesn't reveal itself fully in one moment. It unfolds as you take aligned action. Waiting to feel completely ready or certain will keep you stuck. Clarity comes through motion, not overthinking. When your actions reflect your principles, you begin to see patterns that guide you forward. Each day of consistent effort deepens your understanding of what your purpose really is. The more you practice alignment, the easier it becomes to recognize what belongs in your path and what doesn't. Consistency is the bridge between intention and achievement. Acting once when inspired is easy. Acting every day when tired, uncertain, or unmotivated is what separates those who wish from those who live their purpose. Discipline doesn't mean forcing yourself through misery. It means remembering why you began. When you connect your effort to your deeper reason, repetition becomes meaningful. You stop chasing quick results and start building something lasting. To live with alignment, you must define what your deepest purpose truly means to you. It may be personal growth, contribution, creativity, or service. Whatever it is, it must come from within, not from external validation. Many people confuse ambition with purpose. Ambition is about reaching, purpose is about becoming. Ambition can fade with failure, but purpose endures because it is tied to meaning, not outcome. When your actions arise from genuine purpose, they remain steady even through obstacles. Consistency requires boundaries. You can't live your purpose while scattering your energy across everything that asks for attention. You must learn to say no to what distracts you, even when it feels easier to give in. Every yes that doesn't serve your purpose is a quiet no to your growth. Protect your focus as if it were your most valuable resource, because it is. Each decision either moves you closer to alignment or pulls you away from it. The discipline to stay centered is what keeps your purpose alive. Acting consistently also means accepting that not every day will feel inspired. There will be times when progress seems invisible, when motivation disappears, and when doubt whispers that it's not working. But those moments are where character is built. Acting from purpose means doing what's right even when it's not exciting. True growth happens in the days when you persist without applause. Each small action, repeated over time, compounds into something greater than you can see right now. The key to consistency lies in simplifying your process. When your purpose is clear, you don't need to overcomplicate your plan. Focus on the few actions that matter most and repeat them with dedication. Progress doesn't come from doing everything, it comes from doing the right things regularly. Excellence grows from simplicity practiced over time. A single act of integrity, kindness, or discipline repeated daily builds a life that reflects meaning. Alignment between purpose and action also requires honesty. You must constantly evaluate whether what you're doing matches who you want to become. It's easy to get caught up in habits that once served you but no longer do. Regular reflection helps you stay on course. Ask yourself, does this choice reflect my purpose or my comfort? Purpose often asks for growth, and growth demands discomfort. When you act from purpose, you move beyond what's easy and into what's necessary. To act consistently on your purpose, detach from the need for immediate results. The value of your work isn't always visible right away. Some seeds take months or years before they sprout. Consistency requires faith, the quiet belief that your effort is building something unseen. This faith keeps you steady when progress feels slow. Purpose-driven action is not about instant gratification, it's about steady evolution. You trust that every step counts, even when the destination remains unseen. Living with purpose also means aligning your habits with your values. Habits are the foundation of consistency. They automate what you believe in. When your routines reflect your purpose, discipline becomes natural. Instead of forcing effort, you simply live it. For example, if your purpose involves helping others, make it a daily practice. If it involves creativity, create something every day. The goal is to make your purpose visible through repetition, not just words. Your purpose should influence the way you work, speak, rest, and interact with others. Alignment means carrying the same principles everywhere, not only in moments of ambition but also in ordinary days. When your behavior matches your beliefs, peace follows. You stop feeling divided between what you want and what you do. That inner harmony brings a sense of stability no external success can replace. Acting consistently also requires courage to go against what's popular. Purpose often leads you away from convenience and into authenticity. Others may not understand your choices, and that's okay. Alignment is not about approval, it's about integrity. The moment you stop trying to fit into expectations and start honoring your truth, you reclaim your freedom. Consistency becomes easier when your actions are rooted in conviction rather than compliance. A purpose-driven life demands awareness of intention behind every action. Before starting any task, ask yourself, is this aligned with my greater goal? That single question can save you from countless distractions. When you act from awareness, your energy multiplies because it's no longer wasted on meaningless effort. Purpose transforms ordinary work into something sacred. Even simple tasks gain significance when they serve something greater. Consistency is also sustained by balance. Acting on your purpose doesn't mean neglecting your well-being. Burnout disconnects you from meaning. To act consistently, you must nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Rest is not weakness, it's preparation. Reflection is not delay, it's recalibration. When you take care of yourself, you extend the lifespan of your purpose. Sustainable progress always outweighs rushed effort. To strengthen your consistency, surround yourself with people who support your purpose. Environments shape behavior. When you spend time with those who share similar values, your motivation stays alive. Positive influence reminds you of what matters when distractions grow loud. Accountability also helps maintain alignment. When others see your dedication, it encourages them to act with purpose too. Shared commitment amplifies strength. Each day presents small moments where you can choose purpose over impulse. It might be showing patience when anger feels easier, focusing when distraction tempts you, or following through when quitting feels justified. These small choices accumulate. The world doesn't change through grand gestures. It changes through consistent alignment. When you live this way, your life begins to express authenticity effortlessly. You become someone who doesn't just speak of values but embodies them. Over time, consistency builds confidence. When your actions align with your deepest purpose, you no longer rely on external validation. You find satisfaction in knowing you're living truthfully. Challenges no longer threaten your identity because your direction is clear. Even when outcomes vary, your peace remains steady because you measure success by integrity, not approval. This inner certainty is what gives you quiet strength. Acting consistently on your purpose creates momentum that reshapes your life. The more aligned your actions become, the more life opens in your favor. Synchronicities appear, relationships deepen, and fulfillment grows. This isn't coincidence, it's the result of energy moving in one direction. Alignment simplifies everything. You stop fighting with yourself and start flowing with your truth. When you act every day in alignment with your deepest purpose, you begin to experience a different kind of success, one measured not by possessions but by peace. You wake up each morning knowing your actions matter. You end each night knowing you honored what's real. That quiet satisfaction is the ultimate reward of consistency. It's the feeling of living fully, without compromise or confusion. A life guided by purpose is not a straight path, but it is a true one. There will be moments of doubt, delay, and difficulty, but they cannot defeat a person who acts with integrity each day. The key is to keep moving forward, one intentional action at a time. Over the years, those actions accumulate into a legacy of meaning. You don't need perfection, you need persistence. When your life becomes a reflection of your deepest purpose, every step you take becomes a statement of who you are. Chapter 80: Eliminate distractions that weaken your mental and emotional focus. Focus is one of the most valuable abilities a person can develop, yet it is constantly under attack. The modern world is filled with noise, endless notifications, opinions, comparisons, and distractions designed to pull your attention in 100 directions at once. To live with clarity and purpose, you must learn to protect your focus like it's your most precious resource. Because it is. Every moment spent on meaningless noise is a moment stolen from what truly matters. Eliminating distractions that weaken your mental and emotional focus isn't about living rigidly. It's about choosing where your energy flows so your mind and emotions stay clear, calm, and powerful. Distraction doesn't always look obvious. It's not just scrolling on your phone or checking messages constantly. It can also come disguised as business, overcommitment, or even emotional drama. Anything that pulls you away from your priorities weakens your focus. To eliminate distractions, you must first identify what consumes your attention without adding real value. This requires honesty. You can't change what you refuse to acknowledge. Spend time observing your habits. Notice where your time and energy go. Awareness is the first step toward reclaiming control. A scattered mind leads to a scattered life. When your attention is divided, everything feels harder and progress slows. The human brain works best when it's fully immersed in one task. Deep focus creates efficiency, peace, and satisfaction. Constant switching between tasks, on the other hand, drains mental energy and increases stress. The cost of distraction isn't just wasted time, it's lost potential. Every distraction weakens the depth of your work, the quality of your presence, and the clarity of your thoughts. The more you eliminate unnecessary noise, the sharper your perception becomes. Technology is one of the biggest culprits behind mental fragmentation. The constant pull of notifications conditions your brain to seek stimulation. Over time, your attention span shortens, making it harder to focus on anything meaningful. The solution is not to reject technology, but to control how you interact with it. Schedule specific times for checking messages or social media instead of reacting every time your device lights up. Turn off non-essential alerts. Keep your environment calm and your mind will follow. When you take back control of your attention, your thoughts become more organized and your emotions more stable. Emotional distractions can be even more draining than digital ones. Worry, resentment, and overthinking consume mental space that could be used for creativity and growth. To maintain emotional focus, you must learn to manage your inner dialogue. Not every thought deserves attention. Most mental noise is repetitive, meaningless chatter that adds confusion rather than clarity. Practice awareness without attachment. Notice the thought, then let it pass. The mind calms when it is no longer fed by reaction. Emotional discipline creates space for clear thinking and wise decision-making. People can also be sources of distraction, not through ill intent but through misalignment. Surrounding yourself with those who constantly complain, gossip, or drain your energy makes focus difficult. Energy is contagious. If you spend time with people who scatter their attention, you'll start doing the same. Choose your environment with care. Protect your space from unnecessary drama. Spend time with individuals who encourage your growth, respect your boundaries, and share your values. The more intentional your relationships become, the easier it is to stay centered. To eliminate distractions, you must also simplify your environment. Physical clutter leads to mental clutter. A messy space sends subtle signals of chaos to the brain, making it harder to concentrate. Organize your surroundings in a way that supports calmness. Keep only what adds value or joy. When your physical environment reflects order, your mind naturally relaxes and your focus deepens. A clear space nurtures a clear mind. Multitasking is another hidden form of distraction. Society often glorifies doing multiple things at once, but it actually weakens attention and lowers performance. True productivity comes from doing one thing with full engagement. When you give your complete attention to the task in front of you, your results improve and your mind feels less scattered. Multitasking creates the illusion of progress while draining energy. Focused work, done consistently, accomplishes more in less time and with greater satisfaction. Rest is also a critical component of focus. A tired mind is an easily distracted mind. When you push yourself constantly without rest, your attention weakens and your emotions become unstable. Prioritize recovery through sleep, quiet reflection, and time in nature. Disconnecting from constant stimulation allows your mind to recharge. Balance is not laziness, it's strategy. A well-rested mind performs better and resists distraction naturally. Eliminating distractions also means aligning your daily habits with your priorities. If your schedule is filled with activities that don't serve your long-term vision, your energy will always feel scattered. Review your commitments regularly and remove what no longer aligns with your goals. You don't have to do everything, you just have to do what matters most. Simplifying your time creates freedom. When your day reflects your values, your focus strengthens automatically. Emotional focus is deeply connected to boundaries. Many distractions come from people or situations that take more energy than they give. Learning to say no is essential. You are not obligated to engage in every conversation, debate, or demand that arises. Protect your mental peace as seriously as you would protect your physical health. Boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary for clarity and balance. When you stop scattering your attention on everything external, you have more strength to invest in what truly fulfills you. A powerful way to strengthen focus is through mindfulness. When you train yourself to be fully present in each moment, distractions lose their power. Simple practices like mindful breathing, meditation, or even walking in silence help retrain the mind to stay grounded. Mindfulness doesn't eliminate noise, it teaches you to remain calm within it. Over time, your attention becomes steady regardless of what's happening around you. A focused mind is not one that avoids distraction, but one that doesn't get carried away by it. Another important aspect of maintaining focus is emotional regulation. When emotions take over, focus disappears. Anger, fear, or anxiety scatter mental energy. Developing emotional awareness helps you recognize early signs of imbalance. When you feel overwhelmed, pause and breathe. Distance yourself from the emotion long enough to regain clarity. You can't control every event, but you can control your reaction. The more balanced your emotions, the stronger your focus becomes. Creating rituals can also help eliminate distractions. Begin and end your day with routines that ground you. Whether it's journaling, reading, or planning your day in silence, these practices anchor your mind. They remind you of your direction before the world's noise begins. Small rituals reinforce consistency and help your mind transition smoothly between rest, work, and reflection. Structure creates stability, and stability enhances focus. Your attention follows your intention. When you have a clear sense of purpose, distractions lose their pull. The reason many people struggle with focus is that they haven't defined what matters most. Without direction, everything feels equally urgent. Define your priorities so your mind knows what to protect. Purpose acts as a filter. It tells you what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Every time you say yes to something aligned with your purpose, you say no to distraction. To maintain mental and emotional focus, learn the art of solitude. Spending time alone allows your thoughts to settle and your energy to reset. Constant company can blur your clarity because it fills your mind with external noise. Solitude is not isolation, it's restoration. When you give yourself quiet time, you reconnect with your thoughts and emotions in a healthy way. You start hearing your intuition more clearly, and intuition always guides focus back to what matters. Practicing gratitude can also strengthen focus. When you appreciate your current moment, your attention stops wandering toward what's missing. Gratitude grounds you in now. It keeps your energy stable because it shifts your attention from distraction to appreciation. When you see value in the present, you stop chasing meaningless stimulation. Focus becomes easier when your heart is content. To sustain long-term focus, remember that elimination is an ongoing process. New distractions will always appear in different forms. Stay adaptable. Review your habits often and adjust as needed. What served you last year may not serve you today. The goal is to continuously refine your environment, your mindset, and your routines to match your evolving goals. Consistency in refinement is what keeps your focus sharp. When you finally master the ability to eliminate distractions, your mind feels lighter and your emotions more balanced. You start experiencing deeper satisfaction because your energy is no longer scattered. You feel present in your work, patient in your relationships, and calm in uncertainty. You begin to realize that the ability to focus is not about controlling the outside world. It's about mastering your inner one. The fewer distractions you entertain, the clearer your direction becomes. A life without clarity feels chaotic, but a focused life feels peaceful and powerful. When you choose to remove distractions, you're not losing anything valuable, you're gaining freedom. You gain time, awareness, and strength to pursue what's truly meaningful. Each moment of focus builds momentum, and momentum builds transformation. The mind that stays steady, unbothered by noise, becomes unstoppable. Eliminating distractions is not a one-time act. It's a lifelong commitment to protect your energy, nurture your clarity, and live with deliberate intention. Chapter 9c. Surround yourself with people who lift your energy higher. The people you spend your time with have a profound impact on your energy, mindset, and overall life trajectory. Humans are social creatures, and the energy of those around you influences your thoughts, feelings, and actions far more than most realize. Surrounding yourself with people who lift your energy higher is not just a suggestion, it is a necessity for growth, clarity, and sustained motivation. Energy is contagious, and the emotional atmosphere you inhabit daily either fuels your potential or drains it. Choosing relationships that inspire, challenge, and support you amplifies your capacity to thrive. High-energy people bring more than positivity. They bring perspective, encouragement, and accountability. They believe in possibility and push you to rise above mediocrity. Their presence reminds you of what is achievable, even when doubt whispers otherwise. Being around individuals who consistently challenge your mind and expand your vision keeps stagnation away. When your environment is filled with people who see the best in you, you begin to see it in yourself. Growth accelerates when energy is amplified rather than diminished. Conversely, draining relationships consume your vitality quietly. Negativity, gossip, constant complaints, or criticism can deplete mental and emotional reserves without you even noticing. These interactions leave subtle imprints that lower confidence, limit ambition, and cloud judgment. Awareness is the first step toward change. Observe how you feel after spending time with someone. If interactions consistently leave you tired, frustrated, or doubtful, it may be time to reevaluate the role they play in your life. Protecting your energy is a form of self-respect and a prerequisite for progress. Choosing the right people doesn't mean avoiding challenges or honest feedback. It means selecting individuals whose guidance and influence strengthen your growth. Constructive criticism from someone aligned with your values fuels development, while constant negativity erodes it. Seek companions who motivate action rather than complaint. Being surrounded by proactive thinkers and doers creates a culture of achievement in your daily life. Energy flows most effectively when everyone contributes positively to the momentum of growth. High-energy relationships are reciprocal. While you benefit from being uplifted, you also become a source of energy for others. Shared enthusiasm, encouragement, and support amplify the collective effect. The exchange of positive energy creates a network where inspiration flows freely. It's not selfish to seek people who elevate you. It is an essential strategy for building sustainable motivation. Your energy is both a resource and a signal. The people you attract reflect the state of your inner world. Proximity matters. The longer and more frequently you interact with people, the more their energy rubs off on you. That is why daily exposure to motivated, constructive, and optimistic individuals is far more impactful than occasional interactions. Consistency in influence shapes habits, attitudes, and beliefs. Surrounding yourself with individuals who embody growth, discipline, and positivity nudges your own behavior in similar directions. Energy alignment becomes effortless when your circle consistently models what you aspire to achieve. Seek relationships that inspire action. Inspiration is more than motivation. It's a push to live in alignment with your highest potential. When you are around people who act with intention, you naturally adopt similar patterns. You mirror their focus, discipline, and commitment. Energy transfer happens quietly, almost subconsciously, through observation and interaction. If you want to elevate your standards, elevate your company. The quality of your relationships directly impacts the quality of your life. Emotional alignment is equally important. Surround yourself with people whose moods and mindsets resonate with stability, optimism, and resilience. Constant exposure to fear, anger, or uncertainty can destabilize your own mental state. Choose companions who manage their emotions effectively and encourage constructive solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Emotional energy is contagious, and being in a balanced atmosphere strengthens clarity, focus, and determination. Boundaries are necessary when curating your circle. Not every relationship is worth maintaining. Protecting your energy may mean limiting interactions with individuals who consistently drain or distract you. This requires courage, honesty, and self-respect. Ending toxic connections or creating distance from draining influences is not rejection of others. It is preservation of your capacity to grow. Space is essential for cultivating meaningful energy exchange with people who lift you higher. Networking intentionally can also expand your access to high-energy individuals. Seek mentors, peers, and collaborators who embody qualities you admire. Attend gatherings, workshops, or communities where ambition, creativity, and resilience are the norm. Being intentional about the company you keep exposes you to ideas, strategies, and inspiration that would otherwise remain invisible. Surrounding yourself with people who elevate you accelerates learning and strengthens commitment to your own purpose. Mutual respect is a cornerstone of high-energy relationships. People who elevate your energy do so not by dominating or controlling, but by valuing your presence, opinions, and contribution. Energy flows best in environments of trust, encouragement, and fairness. Relationships rooted in mutual respect cultivate emotional safety, allowing ideas, ambition, and creativity to thrive without fear of judgment or sabotage. Energy-lifting relationships encourage accountability. People who care about growth help you stay on track. They remind you of your goals when doubt creeps in and celebrate progress when milestones are achieved. Accountability partners help maintain focus, consistency, and alignment with purpose. Their presence keeps you honest about how you spend time, energy, and attention, ensuring that each action contributes toward meaningful progress. High-energy people also inspire vision. They help you see possibilities beyond your current circumstances. When your circle includes those who dream bigger and act decisively, it broadens your own horizon. You become capable of seeing opportunities, overcoming obstacles, and taking risks you might otherwise avoid. Energy shared in a visionary environment strengthens courage and expands potential. Avoid relationships that normalize mediocrity or complacency. Energy is drained by people who resist growth or encourage minimal effort. If others are content with stagnation, their energy pulls you toward inertia. Even subtle influences matter. A single conversation repeated over time can subtly shift your standards downward. Protect your mindset by curating interactions with people who encourage continuous improvement, curiosity, and effort. Celebrate diversity in your circle while prioritizing alignment in energy. Different experiences and perspectives enrich your life when they support constructive growth. Exposure to new ideas can spark creativity, innovation, and insight. However, diversity should not come at the cost of mental or emotional balance. Choose individuals whose energy challenges you positively rather than destabilizes your focus. Healthy differences expand thinking without depleting vitality. Physical and virtual environments matter in how energy is exchanged. Surrounding yourself with high-energy people in person has a tangible effect, but even online interactions can impact mindset. Curate social media feeds, group chats, and digital communities that inspire rather than drain. Avoid prolonged exposure to negativity or passive scrolling. Your energy is not infinite. It must be invested thoughtfully. High-energy people encourage resilience. Their presence demonstrates how to navigate setbacks, overcome failure, and maintain composure under pressure. Observing their habits and mindset teaches practical strategies for emotional stability and problem-solving. Energy is amplified when it carries both motivation and wisdom. Being around individuals who model resilience strengthens your own ability to persist when challenges arise. Shared goals reinforce energy alignment. When you and others work toward similar objectives, enthusiasm compounds. Collaboration with people who value progress and contribution creates momentum that is impossible to generate alone. Mutual encouragement accelerates results while fostering connection. Energy multiplies when purpose is shared. Investing in high-energy relationships is an ongoing process. Regularly assess who influences your state of mind and heart. Seek new connections that elevate you and release those who consistently drain you. Energy management is not selfish. It is a strategic approach to living fully. Your time, attention, and emotional capacity are limited. Surrounding yourself with people who lift your energy ensures that each moment contributes to growth, joy, and fulfillment. The cumulative effect of being around uplifting people is profound. Your motivation, creativity, and emotional resilience rise naturally. You start approaching life with confidence and clarity. Challenges feel smaller because your energy reservoir is abundant. Your environment becomes a launchpad for purpose rather than a drain on your vitality. In every interaction, you gain inspiration, insight, and momentum. When you intentionally curate relationships that elevate your energy, you transform your inner and outer world. You create a space where ambition, peace, and focus thrive. You become a magnet for positive experiences and aligned opportunities. Life feels lighter, decisions clearer, and potential greater. Choosing the right people is not a luxury. It is an essential strategy for living deliberately, growing consistently, and achieving your highest goals. Chapter 100. Choose thoughts that strengthen your confidence and peace daily. The mind is the foundation of your experience, and the thoughts you choose daily shape your confidence, peace, and ability to act. Every idea you dwell on either strengthens you or weakens you. Confidence and inner calm are not accidents. They are the result of consistent mental discipline. You have the power to direct your attention toward thoughts that empower instead of diminish. Each day presents countless opportunities to reinforce your sense of capability and serenity, but it requires awareness and deliberate choice. The first step is realizing that no external circumstance can force your mind into doubt or fear without your participation. Thoughts are not inherently good or bad, but their impact depends on whether you feed or dismiss them. Focusing on limitations, mistakes, or uncertainty creates tension, anxiety, and hesitation. On the other hand, focusing on strengths, solutions, and opportunities cultivates confidence and calm. Confidence grows when you consistently affirm your abilities and recognize your progress. Peace grows when you train your mind to release what is beyond your control. Mental habits, like physical exercise, require repetition. Choosing thoughts that strengthen your inner state is not a one-time decision, it is a daily practice that compounds over time. Awareness is the first tool. You must notice which thoughts dominate your mind throughout the day. Are they uplifting or discouraging? Do they expand your belief in your own abilities or shrink it? Journaling or reflection can reveal patterns that otherwise go unnoticed. Awareness alone, however, is not enough. You must also intervene intentionally. Replace thoughts that cause tension or doubt with ones that inspire action and inner stability. The mind responds to repetition, so daily reinforcement is essential. Language plays a critical role in this process. The way you phrase your thoughts internally affects the emotional weight they carry. Replace self-criticism with constructive observation. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," think, "I am learning and growing with every effort I make." Instead of, "This is impossible," choose, "I will find a path forward." Words carry energy, and by consciously selecting words that inspire confidence and calm, you directly influence your emotional and mental state. Your attention is a finite resource. Every moment spent entertaining fear, doubt, or regret is a moment you cannot spend building confidence or peace. Mental focus determines the quality of your experience. Strengthen your mind by consciously shifting attention toward thoughts that support growth. Visualize positive outcomes, recall past achievements, and affirm your values. The brain strengthens patterns that are repeated, so daily practice of empowered thinking builds resilience against negativity. External influence also affects internal dialogue. Consuming news, media, or conversations filled with drama and pessimism can seed doubt and unrest. Be selective about what you expose yourself to. Protect your mind like a garden. Fill it with ideas, experiences, and perspectives that inspire courage, calm, and clarity. Over time, external inputs align with internal stability, creating an environment that naturally reinforces confidence and peace. Decision-making is another area where thought discipline matters. When you choose thoughts that strengthen confidence, your decisions become clearer and more aligned with your purpose. Indecision and hesitation often stem from negative self-talk and imagined worst-case scenarios. Replacing those patterns with constructive and realistic assessment of your capabilities allows you to act decisively. Confidence in thought leads to confidence in action. Peace in thought leads to composure under pressure. Daily reflection helps maintain this practice. At the end of each day, observe how your thoughts shaped your experiences. Notice which moments of anxiety, doubt, or tension could have been shifted with different mental focus. Recognize the instances where intentional thoughts reinforced calm, courage, or clarity. Reflection is not judgment, it is feedback. It guides you toward more deliberate choices and strengthens your awareness of how thought shapes reality. Visualization complements deliberate thinking. Imagining success, composure, and confidence activates the same neural pathways as experiencing it. Mental rehearsal trains your mind and body to respond with assurance. By visualizing outcomes where you remain calm, confident, and effective, you prepare yourself to embody those qualities in reality. The mind cannot easily distinguish between vivid imagination and actual experience, so well-directed visualization reinforces positive internal states. Mindfulness and presence also contribute to choosing empowering thoughts. When your attention is anchored in the present moment, you resist being pulled into regret about the past or worry about the future. Peace is cultivated by noticing what is happening now without adding unnecessary narrative or judgment. Confidence grows when your mind focuses on what you can do in the moment, rather than being trapped by imagined limitations. Presence allows clarity, calm, and control to guide your decisions and actions. Affirmations are another effective tool. Short, specific statements repeated daily create new neural pathways that support belief in your abilities. Statements such as, "I am capable," "I trust myself to handle challenges," or "I remain calm under pressure," are more than words. They are building blocks for confidence and peace. Repetition over time strengthens the mental habit of approaching challenges with assurance and composure, making empowered thinking automatic rather than forced. Emotions and thoughts are interconnected. Choosing thoughts that support confidence and peace directly influences emotional state. Anxiety, frustration, and fear often arise from unchecked negative thinking. By intervening in your thought process, you moderate emotional reactions. When the mind is trained to dwell on constructive, empowering ideas, the heart follows. Emotional balance becomes a natural consequence of disciplined thinking. Self-compassion is essential for this practice. Choosing thoughts that build confidence does not mean ignoring mistakes or weaknesses. It means approaching them with understanding and curiosity rather than judgment. A thought like, "I made an error and I can learn from it," maintains confidence while promoting growth. Peace arises from acknowledging imperfection without letting it destabilize your inner state. Confidence does not require perfection. It requires trust in your ability to navigate challenges. Patterns form quickly, so consistency matters. Repeatedly allowing fear, doubt, or regret to dominate your mind strengthens those tendencies. Repeatedly choosing constructive, empowering thoughts strengthens resilience and inner calm. Mental discipline is developed through ongoing practice, similar to physical training. Small daily decisions about what to focus on and what to let go accumulate into a mindset that naturally supports confidence and peace. Boundaries with internal dialogue are as important as external boundaries. Interrupt negative self-talk immediately and replace it with constructive alternatives. Challenge assumptions that limit potential. Question beliefs that cause tension or hesitation. The internal environment you cultivate dictates the energy you carry into every interaction, task, and decision. Protecting mental space through intentional thought choice is essential for consistent performance and well-being. Confidence and peace are not fragile, they are cultivated. Like muscles, they grow stronger with use and atrophy when ignored. Every moment of focus on empowering thoughts strengthens mental resilience. Over time, this creates an internal ecosystem where fear, doubt, and uncertainty no longer dominate. Your mind becomes a place of stability, strength, and clarity, capable of responding to challenges with equanimity. Gratitude reinforces positive thought patterns. Recognizing what is going well, even in small ways, strengthens confidence and promotes inner peace. Gratitude shifts focus from scarcity to sufficiency, reducing worry and enhancing mental stability. A consistent practice of gratitude amplifies constructive thinking, creating a mental state that is both grounded and forward-looking. Choosing thoughts intentionally also enhances creativity and problem-solving. A confident, peaceful mind has clarity to see solutions where a distracted or anxious mind sees obstacles. Peace allows space for innovation, insight, and flexibility. Confidence fuels action, ensuring ideas are implemented rather than abandoned. By strengthening thoughts, you strengthen your ability to act effectively in the world. Every day presents opportunities to reinforce this practice. Morning routines, journaling, meditation, or quiet reflection are opportunities to select thoughts that empower. Small choices compound over time into a resilient, confident, and peaceful mindset. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your actions, and the quality of your actions determines the trajectory of your life. By consistently choosing thoughts that strengthen confidence and peace, you reclaim control over your inner state. You stop being a passive observer to fear and doubt and become an active architect of your mental and emotional experience. Over time, this deliberate practice transforms your life, enabling you to approach challenges with calm, act with clarity, and navigate uncertainty with assurance. Each day becomes an exercise in self-mastery, and mastery begins with the conscious choice of thought. Chapter 11T. Trust the process even when results are not visible. Progress is often invisible, and the human mind craves immediate evidence of success. Many people give up just when they are closest to a breakthrough because they cannot see the results of their efforts. Trusting the process is the ability to keep moving forward, even when the outcome is not yet apparent. It requires faith in your actions, discipline in your habits, and patience in the face of uncertainty. Life does not always provide instant feedback, but consistent effort compounds over time, often in ways that are not immediately obvious. The challenge is to maintain commitment when the path feels uncertain. Trusting the process begins with understanding that growth and achievement are gradual. Skills, knowledge, and results develop through repeated action, not sudden inspiration. You may work diligently for weeks, months, or even years without seeing dramatic changes, but the groundwork you lay quietly builds strength, wisdom, and resilience. Each small step, even if invisible, contributes to long-term transformation. This principle applies to personal development, relationships, health, and professional success. What is unseen today can become the foundation for extraordinary results tomorrow. Patience is essential when trusting the process. The tendency to seek immediate gratification often undermines progress. Quick results may provide satisfaction, but meaningful achievement takes time. Developing patience means focusing on the effort rather than the reward. It requires discipline to continue taking consistent action without depending on visible outcomes. Every action that aligns with your goals contributes to eventual success, whether you perceive it immediately or not. Trust grows as you repeat this pattern of focused effort. Discipline reinforces trust in the process. Following through consistently, even when results are not apparent, strengthens your confidence in your abilities. Discipline transforms intention into action, bridging the gap between ambition and accomplishment. The routine of showing up daily creates momentum that eventually produces visible outcomes. Each step, no matter how small, is proof that progress is happening beneath the surface. Over time, the accumulation of consistent effort makes success inevitable. Belief in the unseen requires a shift in perspective. Instead of measuring progress solely by immediate results, focus on what you are learning and building along the way. Every effort contributes to your growth, shaping your skills, mindset, and habits. Challenges and obstacles are not signs of failure. They are indicators that you are engaged in a process that strengthens resilience. When results are delayed, your persistence is the test of character, reinforcing determination and fortitude. Trusting the process also involves letting go of control over timing. Outcomes are often influenced by factors beyond your awareness or ability to manage. Accepting uncertainty does not mean passivity. It means continuing to act with intention while recognizing that the universe operates on its own schedule. Resistance to this uncertainty creates frustration, while acceptance allows clarity, focus, and energy to remain directed toward productive action. Consistency is the key to invisible progress. Daily actions repeated over time compound into results that are far greater than the sum of individual efforts. A single day of work may seem insignificant, but repeated over weeks, months, and years, it produces transformation. Trust grows as you witness the cumulative effect of consistent action. Belief in the process is reinforced when you look back and recognize the growth that has occurred quietly and steadily. Focus on what you can control while trusting the process. You cannot dictate outcomes, but you can direct effort, attention, and attitude. Control what is within your power and release attachment to results. This approach prevents wasted energy on worry or doubt. Trusting the process is an active practice, not passive resignation. It requires intelligent action guided by awareness, purpose, and integrity. Every intentional step strengthens the trajectory toward your goals, even when the destination remains out of sight. Reflection enhances trust. Periodically assess your actions, habits, and mindset. Are you following the process with consistency and alignment? Reflection is not about judging immediate results, but about confirming that you are taking the correct steps. Even when progress is invisible externally, internal growth can be recognized through insight, skill development, and resilience. Trust deepens when you notice incremental improvement in your approach and mindset. Faith in yourself is integral to trusting the process. Confidence does not depend on external proof. It depends on knowing that your actions are deliberate and aligned with your purpose. Self-trust provides stability when external results fluctuate. When you believe in your capacity to learn, adapt and persist, the process itself becomes a source of confidence and security. You become resilient against doubt, delay and disappointment. Embracing the process requires gratitude for the present effort. Appreciate the work you are doing now, even if outcomes are unseen. Gratitude shifts focus from lack to contribution, reinforcing motivation and mental clarity. Each moment of engagement becomes meaningful rather than burdensome. Trust grows as you recognize that every effort matters, regardless of immediate visibility. Visualizing long-term results supports trust in the process. Imagine the potential outcome of your consistent effort while remaining detached from precise timing. Visualization strengthens belief, reinforces purpose, and provides mental clarity. It creates a mental roadmap that guides action even when tangible evidence is absent. By combining imagination with discipline, you prepare both mind and body for eventual achievement. Obstacles are inevitable, and trusting the process means maintaining effort despite setbacks. Challenges are part of the journey, not signs that the path is wrong. Each difficulty provides an opportunity to refine skills, adjust strategies, and strengthen resolve. Viewing obstacles as integral to the process prevents discouragement and reinforces long-term perseverance. Progress often becomes visible only after repeated persistence through adversity. Accountability enhances trust. Share goals with individuals who encourage persistence and hold you responsible for consistent effort. External support can reinforce belief in the process, providing feedback, encouragement, and perspective. Collaboration and mentorship help maintain clarity when progress seems slow, ensuring that effort remains consistent and focused. Small, intentional actions compound invisibly. Each choice aligned with your objectives contributes to eventual success. Even mundane tasks, repeated consistently, accumulate into extraordinary results. The key is recognizing the value of invisible progress and maintaining effort regardless of immediate feedback. Trusting the process means respecting the power of incremental improvement. Patience, discipline, consistency, and reflection form the foundation of trust. Acting deliberately while releasing attachment to results strengthens resilience and mental clarity. Each day becomes a practice in endurance, integrity, and alignment. The process itself becomes a teacher, shaping character and reinforcing commitment. Success is not always immediate, but persistence ensures it is inevitable. Trusting the process requires a mindset shift, focus on growth, learning, and alignment rather than immediate outcomes. Outcomes may lag, but your skill, understanding, and resilience increase with every effort. Even when visible results are absent, internal development is occurring. The process builds the foundation for lasting achievement, and faith in it ensures continued progress. By embracing the unseen journey, you cultivate patience, wisdom, and confidence. You learn to value effort over reward, consistency over speed, and growth over immediate validation. Trusting the process is a daily choice that sustains motivation, stabilizes emotions, and reinforces purpose. Each action, no matter how small, is a step forward. Over time, consistent engagement produces transformation that becomes undeniable, proving the power of faith, perseverance, and deliberate action. Results will eventually appear, often in ways you did not anticipate. By maintaining trust throughout the journey, you remain prepared to recognize and capitalize on opportunities when they manifest. Every step, repeated faithfully, contributes to a life shaped by intention, resilience, and achievement. Trust in the process is the bridge between vision and reality, patience and accomplishment, effort and success. It is the practice of believing in progress, even when it cannot yet be seen. Chapter 12 is reflect daily to stay aligned with your true direction. Daily reflection is one of the most powerful tools for maintaining clarity, purpose, and alignment in life. Without pause and examination, it is easy to drift, letting habits, distractions, or external pressures dictate your direction. Reflection is not about judgment or criticism. It is about gaining insight into your actions, thoughts, and intentions. By taking time each day to evaluate where you are and where you want to go, you create the opportunity to course correct, reinforce your priorities, and strengthen your focus. The practice of reflection is a conscious act of self-awareness that keeps your life aligned with what truly matters. Consistency is the key to effective reflection. Spending a few minutes each day evaluating your choices, behaviors, and goals builds a strong foundation of self-awareness. It allows you to notice patterns that either support or undermine your progress. Over time, these observations compound, giving you a clearer sense of direction and purpose. Daily reflection transforms small, often unnoticed actions into meaningful steps toward your larger vision. Every moment you spend examining your day brings you closer to intentional living and away from unconscious drifting. Reflection begins with questions. Asking yourself meaningful questions forces your mind to engage with your experiences thoughtfully. Consider questions such as, what did I accomplish today that moves me toward my goals? Where did I act in alignment with my values? What distracted me or weakened my focus? Which decisions today were intentional and which were reactive? Answering these questions honestly helps you uncover insights that guide better choices tomorrow. The power of reflection lies in asking questions that reveal truth, not in producing immediate answers or judgments. Awareness of priorities is essential in daily reflection. Many people spend energy on tasks, relationships, or activities that do not contribute to their long-term vision. Reflection allows you to evaluate whether your time and effort are aligned with what truly matters. It highlights moments when energy was wasted on minor concerns or when actions reinforced your purpose. By reviewing your day intentionally, you gain clarity about where to focus attention moving forward. Alignment is strengthened each time you acknowledge actions that support your vision and adjust away from those that do not. Reflection is most effective when it is structured. Setting aside a specific time and environment to reflect ensures that the practice becomes habitual rather than sporadic. Some people find journaling useful, writing down thoughts, insights, and observations from the day. Others prefer silent contemplation, reviewing their actions mentally and evaluating choices with calm attention. The structure is less important than the consistency and honesty applied during the process. Regular reflection makes awareness automatic and decisions more deliberate. Reflection also strengthens emotional intelligence. Daily review allows you to observe how emotions influenced your decisions, interactions, and focus. Noticing patterns of frustration, impatience, or anxiety provides the opportunity to understand triggers and adjust behavior. Over time, this emotional awareness supports better responses to challenges, stronger relationships, and more consistent alignment with your intentions. Emotional clarity emerges naturally when reflection becomes part of daily life, reinforcing calm, self-control, and purposeful action. Reflection fosters accountability. By examining your daily actions, you take responsibility for how you spend your time and energy. Accountability is not about blame, it is about clarity and ownership. Observing where effort was consistent or where attention faltered provides guidance for improvement. The practice prevents unconscious drifting and ensures that your actions are intentional rather than reactive. Each day becomes a chance to measure alignment and make corrections that preserve long-term focus and effectiveness. Lessons are uncovered through reflection. Mistakes, setbacks, and successes all carry insights that are visible only when reviewed consciously. Daily reflection allows you to extract meaning from experiences, turning every challenge into an opportunity for learning. Over time, these lessons accumulate, enhancing judgment, foresight, and wisdom. Reflection transforms ordinary experiences into a continuous feedback loop, reinforcing alignment with purpose and strengthening decision-making skills. Reflection also provides perspective on growth. It is easy to overlook progress when immersed in daily routines. By reviewing achievements, no matter how small, you recognize advancement and build confidence in your direction. Celebrating incremental progress during reflection reinforces positive behavior, motivation, and momentum. Seeing growth in detail strengthens belief in the process and encourages continued effort toward long-term objectives. Focus is clarified through reflection. A wandering mind loses direction because energy is spread across competing demands and distractions. Reviewing the day allows you to identify where attention was scattered and where it was concentrated. Awareness of these patterns informs future action, enabling more intentional focus on priorities. When reflection becomes routine, attention naturally aligns with your values and goals, reducing wasted effort and enhancing efficiency. Reflection encourages proactive adjustment. Life is dynamic, and what worked yesterday may not serve today. By reviewing your choices daily, you detect areas needing change and adjust behaviors or strategies proactively. Small course corrections prevent accumulation of ineffective habits and keep actions aligned with your evolving vision. The ability to adapt while staying anchored in purpose is a key outcome of consistent reflection. Reflection deepens self-knowledge. Regularly examining thoughts, reactions, and choices builds understanding of personal strengths, weaknesses, preferences, and tendencies. Knowing yourself at this level allows you to act with intentionality rather than habit or impulse. Deep self-knowledge enhances decision-making, reduces conflict, and supports consistent alignment with your true direction. Reflection becomes a mirror in which you see the patterns shaping your life. Reflection enhances gratitude. Reviewing the day encourages recognition of contributions, support, and positive moments that might otherwise go unnoticed. Gratitude strengthens emotional stability, reduces stress, and reinforces focus on what matters. Incorporating recognition of positive experiences into daily reflection fosters a balanced perspective, ensuring that attention is anchored on meaningful aspects of life rather than on distractions or complaints. Clarity emerges from reflection. By regularly examining intentions, actions, and outcomes, confusion dissipates and priorities crystallize. You learn to distinguish between what is urgent and what is important. Reflection removes mental clutter by organizing observations, insights, and lessons into coherent understanding. With clarity comes confidence, decisiveness, and sustained alignment with your true path. Reflection supports goal alignment. Daily evaluation allows you to track whether current efforts contribute to larger objectives. Misalignment becomes apparent quickly, giving the opportunity to redirect focus and energy efficiently. Goals remain living targets, constantly refined through insight and assessment. Alignment between actions and intentions is maintained by the practice of daily reflection, preventing drift and wasted effort. Self-discipline is reinforced through reflection. The act of reviewing each day requires commitment to honesty and attention. This discipline strengthens overall resilience and ensures that effort is purposeful. Reflection is not passive observation. It is an active engagement with your own choices, demanding consistency, integrity, and deliberate evaluation of behavior. The habit of reflection becomes a cornerstone of personal responsibility and effectiveness. Reflection enhances decision-making. Observing patterns of success and failure informs future choices, reducing reliance on trial and error. Each day provides data that, when analyzed consciously, improves foresight and judgment. Thoughtful reflection ensures that decisions are aligned with both short-term priorities and long-term vision. The ability to anticipate consequences and refine strategy emerges from consistent daily evaluation. Reflection nurtures mindfulness. Daily review cultivates awareness of thoughts, feelings, and actions as they occur. Mindfulness supports presence, focus, and emotional regulation, all of which are essential for staying aligned with purpose. The discipline of observing oneself daily strengthens the connection between awareness and action, ensuring that intentions are consistently translated into behavior. Reflection ultimately creates intentional living. It is the practice of aligning thought, action, and energy with personal values and long-term vision. Without reflection, it is easy to drift, react, or be swayed by external circumstances. With reflection, each day becomes an opportunity to reinforce purpose, evaluate effectiveness, and refine direction. The cumulative effect of daily reflection is clarity, confidence, focus, and consistent alignment with the life you intend to build. Through consistent reflection, awareness, accountability, and adjustment become natural. Your mental and emotional energy is concentrated on what matters. Habits are shaped consciously, and distractions lose power. Daily reflection transforms ordinary routines into meaningful exercises of growth, ensuring that your actions, thoughts, and intentions remain aligned with your true direction. Over time, the practice creates a life of clarity, purpose, and deliberate progress, where each day is a step forward on a path defined by vision and integrity. Chapter 13. Replace self-doubt with small daily acts of courage. Self-doubt is one of the greatest obstacles to personal growth and meaningful achievement. It creeps in quietly, questioning your abilities, your decisions, and your worth, often without any basis in reality. The mind can become a battlefield where negative thoughts overshadow potential and opportunities. Replacing self-doubt with small daily acts of courage is a practical and powerful way to reclaim control over your inner narrative. Courage is not always dramatic or monumental. It often begins with small decisions to act in spite of fear or uncertainty. These small acts, repeated consistently, build momentum, reshape self-perception, and reinforce the belief in your own capabilities. Every day presents opportunities to practice courage. Speaking up when your opinion matters, taking responsibility for a difficult task, starting a conversation with someone new, or pursuing a small goal all count as acts of bravery. Each action may seem insignificant in isolation, but collectively they rewire the mind to focus on possibility instead of limitation. Courage grows as the habit of acting despite doubt becomes ingrained. The key is consistency. Small steps compound into meaningful transformation over time. Self-doubt often thrives in imagined scenarios rather than reality. The mind exaggerates risk, amplifies potential failure, and diminishes your sense of competence. Counteracting this requires deliberate action. Every time you move forward despite hesitation, you provide evidence to yourself that fear does not define your capacity. Courage is built through experience, not intention alone. The act of trying, even when the outcome is uncertain, trains the mind to trust in ability and resilience. Daily acts of courage can take many forms. They might involve pursuing a goal you have been postponing, reaching out for support when needed, addressing an uncomfortable truth, or challenging a limiting belief. Each action challenges the automatic tendency toward avoidance and self-limitation. By taking these small steps consistently, the mind begins to associate effort with empowerment instead of fear. Confidence grows naturally as doubt is met with proof of action. Courage requires awareness of fear. Understanding what triggers self-doubt allows you to confront it intentionally rather than reactively. Reflection on moments of hesitation, anxiety, or insecurity provides insight into patterns that limit progress. Awareness is the first step toward change, and daily acts of courage are the practical application. When you recognize fear, you can consciously choose to act anyway, reinforcing resilience and diminishing the influence of doubt over time. Starting small ensures sustainability. Attempting grand feats in the face of self-doubt can be overwhelming and counterproductive. Focus instead on achievable steps that challenge your comfort zone without creating paralyzing pressure. Each completed action reinforces a sense of competence and proves to your mind that you are capable of handling challenges. Gradual progress builds a stable foundation for greater acts of courage in the future. Accountability strengthens courage. Sharing intentions with trusted individuals or mentors encourages follow-through and provides external reinforcement. When someone else knows you are taking deliberate steps to overcome self-doubt, the sense of responsibility can motivate action, even on days when fear feels stronger than usual. Supportive relationships amplify the effect of daily acts of bravery, reinforcing belief in your abilities. Courage and confidence are mutually reinforcing. Each act of bravery reduces the mental power of self-doubt while increasing belief in competence. Over time, what once felt intimidating becomes manageable. The mind begins to expect that challenges can be met successfully, creating a self-reinforcing cycle. Small acts of courage accumulate, and what begins as tiny steps eventually transforms into consistent, confident action in all areas of life. Reframing failure is essential. Not every act of courage will lead to the desired outcome. Viewing setbacks as learning opportunities rather than proof of inadequacy ensures that self doubt does not regain control. Each attempt, regardless of result, strengthens resilience and understanding. Courage is defined by action in the presence of uncertainty, not by the guarantee of success. Embracing this mindset allows the mind to persistently engage with challenges, steadily replacing doubt with confidence. Daily routines can be structured to encourage small acts of courage. Setting achievable intentions each morning, journaling about fears and intentions, and reviewing actions at the end of the day creates a rhythm of conscious bravery. By integrating courage into daily practice, it becomes habitual rather than exceptional. Repetition solidifies the habit, gradually transforming how you respond to uncertainty, risk, and fear. Visualization supports courageous action. Imagining successful navigation of challenging situations primes the mind for real-life execution. Visual rehearsal reduces hesitation and strengthens preparedness. The combination of mental rehearsal and practical action accelerates the replacement of doubt with assurance. Repeated visualization paired with actual behavior reinforces the mind's confidence in its abilities and fosters consistent bravery. Mindset shifts are crucial for sustained courage. Replacing thoughts like, "I cannot do this," or "I will fail" with, "I will try and learn," or "I am capable of handling this challenge," trains the brain to focus on possibility rather than limitation. Language shapes perception, and deliberate thought patterns create a mental environment where courage flourishes naturally. Confidence is cultivated through consistent affirmation of potential paired with deliberate action. Reflection enhances the process. At the end of each day, reviewing moments when courage was practiced reinforces learning and strengthens self-belief. Identifying actions where doubt was present but bravery prevailed highlights progress, building momentum for future challenges. Reflection also identifies areas where fear continues to dominate, creating opportunities for targeted action in the following days. This cycle of action, reflection, and refinement fosters consistent growth. Courage requires embracing discomfort. Growth and change are rarely comfortable, and self-doubt often emerges when you face unfamiliar situations. Recognizing discomfort as a signal of growth rather than a reason to retreat allows daily acts of bravery to accumulate. Each uncomfortable choice strengthens resilience, broadens capacity, and shifts perception of what is possible. Discomfort becomes a measure of progress rather than an obstacle to avoid. Consistency over intensity ensures lasting change. It is not the magnitude of individual acts of courage that transforms self-doubt, but the regularity of action. Small, deliberate choices repeated daily create a strong foundation of confidence. Over time, the mind internalizes the pattern, making fear less persuasive and bravery a default response. Habits of courage create enduring shifts in mindset and capability. Surrounding yourself with courageous influences amplifies results. Observing how others navigate challenges with confidence provides models for behavior, reinforces belief in possibility, and inspires replication. Mentors, peers, and communities that value action and resilience reinforce the practice of daily courage. Interaction with those who act despite fear strengthens commitment and reduces the power of self-doubt. Celebrating progress is critical. Each small act of courage is evidence of growth and reinforces the belief that self-doubt can be overcome. Acknowledging achievements, no matter how minor, provides motivation and reinforces positive mental patterns. Recognition of incremental success builds momentum and encourages the continuation of deliberate, courageous action. Courage also enhances creativity and problem-solving. Taking risks and acting despite fear encourages experimentation and innovation. Small acts of bravery lead to new experiences, insights, and opportunities that would otherwise remain inaccessible. The replacement of doubt with action expands potential and builds confidence in navigating uncertainty. Long-term transformation occurs when courage becomes habitual. Self-doubt diminishes because repeated action reinforces a belief in competence and resilience. The mind learns that hesitation does not dictate outcomes, and fear is no longer a barrier to effort. Confidence becomes internalized, and bravery emerges as a natural response to challenges, creating a life of consistent growth, purposeful action, and expanding potential. Every day is an opportunity to practice courage. By consciously taking action in alignment with values, goals, and intentions. Even in the face of fear, self-doubt loses its grip. Repeated small acts accumulate into lasting transformation. Courage builds confidence, resilience, and freedom, ultimately reshaping the inner narrative from limitation to empowerment. Over time, these deliberate choices produce a life defined by action, strength, and possibility, demonstrating that consistent courage is the antidote to self-doubt. Chapter 4 Tweens. Focus your emotions toward growth, not fear or limits. Emotions are powerful forces that shape perception, decisions, and actions. They can either empower or limit, depending on where attention is directed. Focusing your emotions toward growth rather than fear or limitations transforms energy into action, resilience, and opportunity. Fear narrows vision and reduces capability, while emotions aligned with growth expand potential, enhance problem solving, and foster confidence. Emotions are not obstacles to be suppressed. They are tools to be directed intentionally. Mastery begins with understanding emotional responses and consciously choosing to channel them toward constructive purposes. Awareness is the first step. Many people allow emotions to dominate automatically, reacting to circumstances rather than responding intentionally. Observing when fear, doubt, or frustration arises enables recognition without judgment. Naming emotions as they occur reduces their intensity and creates space for deliberate choice. Awareness transforms emotions from uncontrollable forces into signals guiding attention toward growth opportunities. Recognizing patterns in emotional responses allows you to anticipate triggers and respond with intention rather than reaction. Understanding the origin of emotions is essential. Fear often emerges from past experiences, perceived risks, or imagined scenarios. Limiting emotions stem from beliefs about inadequacy or external constraints. By tracing emotions to their source, you gain clarity about whether they reflect reality or assumption. This understanding allows redirection toward emotions that support learning, perseverance, and achievement. Growth-oriented emotions arise from hope, curiosity, and focus on improvement. The ability to choose where energy flows is a cornerstone of emotional mastery. Reframing is a practical tool for emotional alignment. Situations that trigger fear can be reframed as opportunities to learn or practice resilience. Challenges previously seen as threats become exercises in skill building. When a setback occurs, focusing on solutions instead of lamenting loss channels emotional energy toward progress. This approach transforms reactions from paralysis into constructive action. Reframing does not deny reality, but shifts attention toward empowerment and possibility. Visualization strengthens emotional focus. Imagining desired outcomes and positive responses primes the mind and body to act with confidence. Emotions experienced vividly in mental rehearsal enhance motivation and reduce hesitation in actual situations. By regularly visualizing success, competence, and composure, emotional energy aligns naturally with growth rather than fear. Visualization reinforces the mind's expectation of capability, making constructive emotional responses habitual. Daily routines can direct emotional focus. Setting intentions each morning to approach challenges with curiosity, courage, and optimism ensures energy flows toward growth. Mindful practices such as meditation, journaling, or breathwork stabilize emotional states and provide clarity for decision-making. These practices prevent emotional drift into fear or limitation and reinforce patterns of constructive engagement. The mind learns to associate deliberate attention with composure, motivation, and adaptive responses. Action reinforces emotional mastery. Acting in alignment with growth-oriented emotions builds confidence and strengthens neural pathways supporting resilience. Each courageous or deliberate choice demonstrates to the mind that energy applied toward growth yields results. In contrast, indulgence in fear or limitation reinforces patterns of avoidance and stagnation. Consistent action aligned with constructive emotions trains both mind and body to respond to challenges proactively. Perspective shifts are necessary for sustaining emotional alignment. Fear and limiting beliefs often distort perception, exaggerating risk or difficulty. Stepping back to evaluate circumstances objectively reduces unnecessary emotional intensity. Observing challenges as temporary and solvable encourages a mindset where emotions amplify capability rather than restrict it. Objective reflection allows emotional energy to focus on strategy, problem solving, and forward momentum rather than worry or self-doubt. Environment influences emotional focus. Surrounding yourself with supportive individuals, constructive media, and inspiring experiences reinforces emotions aligned with growth. Toxic influences tend to trigger fear, doubt, or limitation, while positive environments nurture courage, curiosity, and determination. Intentional cultivation of surroundings ensures that emotional energy is consistently directed toward growth, amplifying resilience and focus. Reflection strengthens emotional control. Reviewing responses at the end of each day highlights instances where emotions supported or hindered progress. Reflection reveals patterns of fear or limitation and identifies opportunities to redirect energy in the future. By consciously analyzing emotional experiences, self-awareness increases and emotional focus becomes more deliberate. Each day's reflection reinforces alignment with growth and diminishes the influence of reactive or limiting responses. Gratitude stabilizes emotional focus. Acknowledging progress, resources, and positive experiences reinforces emotions that support confidence, motivation, and composure. Gratitude shifts attention from scarcity and fear to abundance and opportunity, enhancing resilience and mental clarity. Practicing gratitude consistently trains the mind to prioritize constructive emotional states, creating a feedback loop where appreciation fuels action and emotional balance. Challenges provide opportunities to exercise emotional direction. Difficult circumstances naturally provoke fear, frustration, or impatience. Choosing to respond with focus on learning, problem solving, and adaptation channels energy into growth. Emotional discipline under stress builds confidence and resilience, ensuring that difficult experiences contribute to development rather than anxiety. Over time, the ability to maintain growth-oriented emotional focus during adversity becomes automatic. Language influences emotional patterns. Internal dialogue shapes how experiences are interpreted and what emotions arise. Replacing self-critical or fear-based thoughts with constructive, encouraging statements directs emotional energy toward growth. Statements such as, "I can learn from this," or "I am capable of finding solutions," reinforce empowerment, whereas thoughts centered on limitation amplify fear and stagnation. Conscious language strengthens emotional alignment with productive outcomes. Curiosity directs emotional energy toward exploration and learning. Approaching situations with inquisitiveness rather than judgment or fear encourages engagement, discovery, and flexibility. Curiosity transforms obstacles into opportunities for insight and skill development. Emotions guided by curiosity foster resilience, patience, and sustained motivation, creating an internal environment where fear and limitation have less influence over decision-making and action. Small, consistent practices compound over time. Daily attention to emotional focus, even in minor choices, builds habits that reshape responses. Celebrating small victories, acknowledging courageous actions, and noting progress reinforces alignment with growth. Incremental reinforcement ensures that emotional energy becomes consistently constructive rather than reactive, creating a durable mindset capable of sustaining long-term development. Boundaries protect emotional energy. Avoiding negative influences, disengaging from unnecessary conflict, and limiting exposure to fear-inducing stimuli prevent emotional drift. Establishing clear boundaries allows energy to remain directed toward growth, learning, and productive action. Emotional focus is reinforced when energy is not dissipated on distractions, negativity, or anxiety that detract from purpose. Patience is necessary for emotional alignment. Growth does not happen instantly, and emotional mastery develops gradually through repeated effort. Recognizing that setbacks, delays, or challenges are part of the process prevents frustration from undermining constructive emotions. Patience allows energy to remain directed toward opportunity and development rather than fear, doubt, or impatience. Each moment of restraint strengthens emotional resilience and reinforces alignment with long-term goals. Feedback fuels emotional direction, observing how others respond, evaluating outcomes of actions, and adjusting behavior based on experience channels emotions toward constructive growth. Learning from feedback cultivates adaptability, insight, and composure. Emotions focused on learning and improvement strengthen confidence and motivation while minimizing reactivity to perceived obstacles or threats. Integration of mind and body supports emotional focus. Physical practices, including exercise, breathwork, and posture awareness, influence energy levels and emotional stability. A healthy, balanced body enhances capacity to direct emotions toward growth rather than fear. The mind-body connection reinforces the impact of deliberate emotional focus, making constructive emotional states easier to maintain under pressure. By consistently channeling emotions toward growth, fear and limitation lose their dominance. Daily practice of awareness, reflection, language control, curiosity, and intentional action reshapes how energy is experienced and expressed. Each choice reinforces resilience, adaptability, and focus, enabling emotions to fuel progress rather than impede it. Over time, this deliberate direction of emotional energy cultivates confidence, mental clarity, and the capacity to approach challenges with composure and purpose, ensuring that growth becomes the natural outcome of every response and decision. Chapter 15D. Learn to let go of what you cannot control. Life is filled with circumstances beyond personal control, yet so much of human suffering arises from resisting what cannot be changed. Learning to let go of what is outside your influence is a practice of freedom, clarity, and strength. The mind naturally seeks to control outcomes, predict the future, and manipulate situations, but this effort often results in frustration, anxiety, and wasted energy. Real power comes from distinguishing between what can be acted upon and what must be released, and directing effort only toward the former. Letting go does not mean indifference or inaction. It means focusing resources where they have the greatest impact. Understanding the limits of control is the first step. Every individual can influence thoughts, actions, and reactions, but cannot dictate the behavior of others, the flow of events, or the timing of external outcomes. Recognizing these boundaries clarifies where energy should be applied. Effort expended on uncontrollable factors produces stress without benefit. Conversely, attention directed to decisions, habits, and responses leads to growth, resilience, and results. Learning to separate influence from illusion of control transforms anxiety into purposeful action. Acceptance is central to letting go. Accepting that certain outcomes are not in your hands does not imply passivity, but rather alignment with reality. Resistance to uncontrollable circumstances creates emotional turbulence, which diminishes clarity and effectiveness. Acceptance allows focus to remain on actions that are productive and within reach. By embracing reality as it is, rather than how you wish it to be, energy is preserved for meaningful progress. Releasing attachment requires mindful awareness. Observe moments when thoughts, emotions, or actions attempt to control uncontrollable elements. Notice tension, worry, or attempts to manipulate situations beyond reach. Acknowledging these impulses without judgment allows conscious choice to redirect attention toward what matters. Awareness alone reduces the power of resistance and lays the groundwork for letting go. Practicing detachment strengthens resilience. Detachment does not mean disengagement from goals or relationships. It means releasing emotional dependence on outcomes that cannot be guaranteed. By separating effort from expectation, disappointment diminishes and motivation remains intact. Detachment allows clarity of judgment and enables action based on reason and purpose rather than anxiety and fear. Focus on controllable actions builds efficacy. Energy directed toward preparation, skill development, consistent effort, and thoughtful decision-making yields tangible results. These are areas where influence is certain and action produces measurable outcomes. By concentrating on what is within control, productivity and confidence increase, reinforcing the benefits of releasing what cannot be controlled. Reflection supports the process. Reviewing experiences helps identify instances where attention was misdirected toward uncontrollable factors. Observing patterns of wasted energy encourages deliberate redirection in the future. Daily reflection strengthens discernment, enabling quick recognition of when control is possible and when it is necessary to release tension. This practice develops mental clarity and emotional stability. Acceptance of uncertainty reduces fear. Much anxiety stems from imagining worst case scenarios, or trying to predict outcomes. Letting go acknowledges that uncertainty is inherent to life. By focusing on preparation, adaptability, and intentional action, fear loses power. Emotional energy is channeled toward constructive behaviors rather than futile speculation, creating calm, focus, and effective problem solving. Trust reinforces release. Belief in the process of life, coupled with confidence in one's ability to respond effectively, supports letting go. Trust does not imply passivity, but the understanding that effort applied wisely produces results, while outcomes beyond control will unfold as they will. This mindset reduces stress and enhances capacity to respond skillfully to challenges. Boundaries protect energy. Recognizing the limits of control allows you to set mental and emotional boundaries, preventing overinvestment in external circumstances. Energy conserved from futile control attempts can be applied to growth, creativity, and meaningful engagement. Boundaries clarify priorities and strengthen the ability to maintain focus on productive action. Adaptability is essential. Circumstances beyond control often require flexible thinking and responsiveness. Letting go allows the mind to remain open, creative, and ready to pivot when needed. Rigid insistence on controlling outcomes limits options, while adaptability ensures resilience and capacity to benefit from change. Embracing flexibility enhances both decision-making and emotional stability. Detachment enhances decision-making. When emotional attachment to uncontrollable results is reduced, choices are made with clarity and rationality. The mind becomes less reactive and more strategic, able to evaluate options based on evidence and long-term benefit rather than immediate fear or desire. Decisions made from this state are more effective and aligned with purpose. Mindfulness strengthens release. Staying present anchors attention in the current moment, reducing worry about uncontrollable future events. Mindfulness practices such as deep breathing, observation, or meditation cultivate a calm mental space where letting go becomes natural. The mind learns to focus on actionable steps while releasing anxiety about outcomes beyond reach. Perspective shifts reduce resistance. Understanding that external events often unfold independently of effort helps reframe disappointment or frustration. Accepting that life operates according to broader patterns beyond individual influence diminishes emotional turbulence. Perspective creates clarity and allows attention to remain on what produces meaningful impact. Action without attachment amplifies effectiveness. Effort applied without clinging to specific results allows for full engagement, creativity, and efficiency. Energy is not wasted on resistance, regret, or frustration. Action becomes a demonstration of skill, discipline, and purpose rather than a reaction to fear or desire. Letting go enhances the quality and consistency of effort. Emotional regulation supports release. Observing reactions to uncontrollable circumstances and consciously choosing responses strengthens resilience. Strong emotions directed toward what cannot be controlled amplify stress, while composed, intentional responses maintain energy, focus, and effectiveness. Emotional discipline ensures that energy supports growth and action rather than resistance and limitation. Gratitude reinforces acceptance. Recognizing what is available, what can be influenced, and the progress made despite uncontrollable factors shifts focus from scarcity to capability. Gratitude stabilizes perspective, reduces frustration, and enhances clarity of mind. Daily practice of appreciation strengthens resilience and makes letting go more natural. Reflection on past experiences builds confidence in the process. Observing how challenges previously beyond control were navigated successfully reinforces belief in personal capability and the wisdom of releasing attachment. Lessons learned serve as reminders that effort combined with release produces both growth and peace. Integration of effort and release is a lifelong practice. Letting go does not happen once but is exercised continuously as life presents new challenges. Awareness, acceptance, detachment, focus on action, emotional regulation, adaptability, and trust form a framework that guides energy toward what is productive and meaningful. Over time, the habit of releasing the uncontrollable becomes automatic, creating mental clarity, emotional stability, and freedom to pursue meaningful goals without distraction or unnecessary stress. Mastering the art of letting go ultimately strengthens agency. Energy saved from resisting the uncontrollable is redirected toward learning, growth, and deliberate action. Life becomes more manageable, purpose-driven, and resilient. Releasing what cannot be controlled transforms challenges into opportunities for composure, effectiveness, and strategic engagement. Consistent practice leads to a state where effort, focus, and presence are maximized, while fear, frustration, and resistance diminish, enabling progress and fulfillment regardless of external circumstances. Chapter 16c. Commit to one meaningful goal until it becomes reality. Committing to one meaningful goal is the cornerstone of lasting achievement. Success rarely comes from scattered attention or divided effort. Focusing energy, time, and resources on a single, deeply significant objective allows consistent progress, builds momentum, and strengthens determination. A meaningful goal is one that resonates with values, purpose, and long-term vision, rather than temporary desires or external expectations. Commitment transforms intention into action, and persistence over time converts action into tangible results. The clarity that comes from dedicating yourself fully to one goal eliminates distraction, reduces indecision, and aligns daily behaviors with ultimate outcomes. The first step is choosing a goal that carries personal significance. Goals connected to purpose inspire sustained effort, even during challenges. They create motivation that persists when enthusiasm wanes. Reflecting on values, priorities, and long-term aspirations ensures the selected objective is worth the necessary effort and sacrifice. A meaningful goal should challenge, stretch, and engage, prompting growth in skills, discipline, and resilience. When the goal aligns with what truly matters, commitment becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural inclination. Clarity defines commitment. A vague goal produces scattered energy and inconsistent action. Defining the goal precisely with specific outcomes and measurable indicators allows progress to be tracked. Clear goals create a roadmap for action and make obstacles easier to navigate. Each step toward a clearly defined target provides feedback, builds confidence, and reinforces dedication. Without clarity, effort becomes diluted, and the likelihood of success diminishes. Daily action is essential to transforming commitment into reality. Each day presents opportunities to take steps, however small, that accumulate toward the larger objective. Consistent effort creates momentum, reinforces belief, and gradually builds the foundation for tangible results. Even minor progress compounds over time, and daily focus prevents stagnation. Action is the mechanism that converts intention into achievement. Persistence strengthens resilience. Challenges, setbacks, and distractions are inevitable when pursuing significant goals. Commitment requires maintaining effort through difficulty, learning from mistakes, and adapting strategies when necessary. Persistence reinforces confidence in your ability to overcome obstacles and demonstrates dedication to the goal itself. Those who endure with focus and discipline consistently outpace those who chase multiple objectives without sustained energy. Eliminating competing priorities enhances commitment. Dividing attention between multiple goals reduces the quality and consistency of effort applied to any single objective. By choosing one meaningful goal and devoting primary energy to it, distractions fade and concentration intensifies. Simplicity and focus allows resources, time, and attention to produce maximum impact. Energy that would otherwise dissipate across numerous pursuits consolidates into measurable progress. Visualization strengthens dedication. Mentally rehearsing the completion of the goal enhances motivation, reinforces belief in possibility, and aligns the subconscious with desired outcomes. Vividly imagining the process and the result primes the mind for action, increases resilience in the face of obstacles, and creates an emotional connection to the objective. Visualization reinforces focus by reminding you daily why the goal matters and what it feels like to achieve it. Planning creates structure. Breaking a goal into actionable steps and milestones provides a roadmap for consistent progress. Each completed milestone serves as evidence of advancement, bolstering confidence and reinforcing commitment. Planning also identifies potential challenges and prepares solutions in advance, reducing frustration and maintaining momentum. Structure ensures that effort remains deliberate rather than reactive, creating a disciplined path toward fulfillment. Mindset is a key factor in sustaining commitment. Belief in the value of the goal and in personal ability to achieve it cultivates resilience and prevents doubt from undermining effort. Positive, growth-oriented thinking frames obstacles as opportunities for learning and adaptation rather than insurmountable barriers. Commitment is strengthened when the mind is consistently aligned with possibility, effort, and progress. Accountability increases the likelihood of success. Sharing intentions with mentors, peers, or supportive communities reinforces dedication and provides external motivation to maintain consistency. Accountability creates a sense of responsibility that encourages perseverance even when internal motivation fluctuates. External reinforcement strengthens internal commitment and maintains focus over long periods. Adapting while staying committed ensures progress. Flexibility in methods and strategies allows navigation of challenges without abandoning the objective. Commitment does not imply rigidity. It requires an intelligent balance between steadfast focus on the goal and adaptability in approach. Adjusting tactics maintains forward momentum while preserving the integrity of the ultimate objective. Patience is vital. Significant goals rarely manifest overnight. Understanding that meaningful achievement requires time reduces frustration, prevents impulsive decisions, and reinforces steady action. Patience sustains energy, supports disciplined practice, and encourages consistent effort without yielding to discouragement. Commitment thrives when combined with the understanding that growth is gradual and cumulative. Reflection reinforces alignment with the goal. Regular evaluation of progress identifies successes, areas for improvement, and necessary adjustments. Reflection clarifies whether actions remain aligned with the objective and whether energy is focused effectively. Continuous assessment ensures that momentum is maintained and missteps are corrected before they impede long-term progress. Celebrating progress maintains motivation. Acknowledging milestones, accomplishments, and improvements reinforces the value of consistent effort. Recognition of incremental success prevents burnout, enhances confidence, and strengthens commitment. Celebrating growth provides emotional reinforcement that fuels sustained action toward the ultimate goal. Discipline sustains momentum. Commitment to one goal requires daily choices that prioritize effort over convenience, consistency over distraction, and action over hesitation. Discipline transforms intention into habit, ensuring that focus is maintained regardless of fluctuating motivation. The combination of commitment and discipline produces reliable progress and tangible results over time. Resilience is cultivated through enduring challenges. Pursuing meaningful goals inevitably involves obstacles, setbacks, and failures. Commitment requires facing these difficulties with persistence, adaptability, and confidence. Each challenge overcome strengthens problem-solving skills, enhances self-belief, and reinforces the value of dedication. Resilience ensures that temporary difficulties do not derail long-term progress. Integration of values reinforces significance. When a goal reflects personal principles, purpose, and long-term vision, commitment becomes natural. Alignment between values and objectives enhances motivation, strengthens persistence, and sustains action in the face of difficulty. Goals rooted in meaningful principles are pursued with energy, focus, and dedication that superficial objectives cannot generate. Consistency transforms effort into results. Daily action, focused attention, disciplined effort, and continual adjustment compound over time to create measurable outcomes. Commitment without consistency is ineffective, while repeated, intentional action ensures that the goal gradually becomes reality. Progress accumulates, confidence grows, and achievement becomes inevitable when focus is sustained. Belief in the process reinforces commitment. Trusting that daily effort, even when results are not immediately visible, contributes to ultimate success maintains motivation and prevents discouragement. Confidence in the cumulative effect of focused action sustains engagement, reduces anxiety, and strengthens persistence. Faith in the process allows energy to remain directed toward meaningful steps rather than wasted on doubt or impatience. Every decision, action, and thought is an opportunity to reinforce commitment. Aligning daily choices with the goal, prioritizing tasks, and maintaining focus ensures that progress continues steadily. Small, deliberate actions repeated consistently build momentum, strengthen discipline, and bring the objective closer to reality. Commitment becomes both the guiding principle and the measure of success, producing transformation through unwavering attention and purposeful effort. Committing fully to one meaningful goal transforms potential into achievement. Energy is concentrated, distractions are minimized, and action becomes deliberate. Consistency, discipline, resilience, patience, and reflection ensure steady progress. Daily practice strengthens belief, builds skill, and reinforces focus, ultimately turning intention into tangible results. Commitment is the bridge between aspiration and reality, and sustained focus on a single objective creates a trajectory of growth, fulfillment, and lasting accomplishment that cannot be replicated through divided attention or fleeting effort. Chapter 17. Build discipline by doing what's right, not what's easy. Discipline is the foundation of personal growth, achievement, and long-term fulfillment. It is developed not by convenience, comfort, or shortcuts, but by consistently choosing the path that aligns with purpose and integrity. Doing what is right instead of what is easy strengthens character, builds resilience, and creates momentum toward meaningful goals. Every day presents choices between immediate comfort and long-term benefit. Opting for the harder, more responsible, or more deliberate action cultivates habits that compound into extraordinary results. Discipline is cultivated through repeated practice, conscious decision-making, and unwavering commitment to principles rather than fleeting desires. The first step in building discipline is understanding the distinction between right and easy. Easy choices often provide immediate relief, pleasure, or avoidance of discomfort, yet rarely serve long-term objectives. Right choices may require patience, effort, and sometimes sacrifice, but they produce sustainable outcomes and reinforce self-respect. Developing the ability to recognize this distinction in everyday decisions is critical to shaping habits that support growth. Awareness transforms automatic reactions into conscious choices aligned with long-term vision. Consistency is essential to developing discipline. Discipline is not a single act but a pattern of repeated behavior. Each choice to prioritize what is right over what is easy strengthens mental fortitude and builds self-trust. When repeated daily, these decisions reinforce a mindset oriented toward responsibility, perseverance, and effectiveness. Consistency turns ethical and purposeful action into habit, making disciplined behavior increasingly natural and effortless over time. Accountability reinforces discipline. Sharing intentions or committing publicly to responsible actions increases follow-through. External accountability provides additional motivation to act in alignment with values, especially when internal resistance arises. It is easier to maintain discipline when others are aware of commitments, as this external support bolsters internal resolve and reduces the likelihood of surrendering to ease or convenience. Emotional awareness enhances disciplined action. Resistance often emerges from discomfort, fear, or desire for immediate gratification. Recognizing the emotions that push toward easy choices allows deliberate redirection toward the right action. Emotional intelligence ensures that energy is applied purposefully rather than reactively, transforming impulses into disciplined behaviors. Over time, managing emotional triggers strengthens consistency and reinforces alignment with long-term objectives. Habits are the building blocks of discipline. Repeatedly choosing the right course of action, even when inconvenient, creates automatic patterns of responsible behavior. Small, deliberate actions performed consistently become ingrained, reducing reliance on motivation alone. Discipline thrives when habits are established around critical areas such as time management, goal-focused work, ethical behavior, and self-care. Gradually, the mind internalizes these habits, making right choices habitual and easy choices less compelling. Delayed gratification is a key component of discipline. Many temptations appeal to immediate satisfaction but undermine long-term objectives. By consciously postponing short-term pleasure in favor of enduring benefit, discipline strengthens. Each act of restraint reinforces confidence, patience, and the capacity to pursue substantial goals without succumbing to distraction or comfort seeking. The practice of delaying gratification develops mental toughness and prepares the mind for sustained achievement. Purpose strengthens disciplined action. When choices are linked to meaningful objectives, the challenge of doing what is right becomes motivating rather than burdensome. Understanding why an action matters in the context of long-term vision reinforces perseverance. Purpose provides clarity and motivation that transcends the temporary appeal of easy alternatives, creating a mental framework where discipline is both meaningful and self-reinforcing. Planning and preparation support disciplined behavior. Anticipating challenges, setting routines, and establishing strategies for decision-making reduce reliance on reactive thinking. Discipline is easier to maintain when steps are clearly defined and distractions are minimized. Organized planning ensures that right actions are accessible, efficient, and consistent, even when circumstances are difficult or energy levels fluctuate. Preparation reduces the friction between intent and action. Reflection consolidates progress. Evaluating decisions daily or weekly highlights moments when the right choice was made and identifies areas where ease prevailed over principle. Reflection reinforces learning, encourages adaptation, and strengthens the mental framework supporting disciplined action. Regular assessment ensures that growth is intentional, habits are maintained, and discipline deepens over time. Self-control is central to doing what is right. Impulses toward comfort, avoidance, or convenience must be managed with deliberate thought and action. Strengthening self-control is a gradual process, cultivated through repeated resistance to easy but counterproductive behaviors. Each successful act of self-restraint reinforces confidence in personal ability, reduces susceptibility to temptation, and enhances consistency in making disciplined choices. Accountable role models accelerate development. Observing individuals who consistently prioritize right actions over easy alternatives provides inspiration, practical examples, and benchmarks for performance. Role models demonstrate that discipline is achievable, relatable, and impactful. Emulating responsible behavior while maintaining individual authenticity enhances skill, judgment, and confidence in navigating complex decisions. Resilience is reinforced by discipline. Committing to right actions, even when challenging, strengthens mental toughness. Discipline develops the ability to persevere through discomfort, setbacks, and uncertainty. Each time the harder choice is made, confidence in one's capacity to endure grows, creating a feedback loop where challenges are met with composure and determination rather than avoidance or surrender. Focus enhances disciplined action. Attention directed toward meaningful tasks reduces vulnerability to easy distractions. Concentrated effort allows completion of critical actions despite fatigue, temptation, or complexity. Maintaining focus ensures that the right actions are performed effectively, maximizing their impact and reinforcing the habit of choosing principle over convenience. Mindset determines consistency. Viewing discipline as a pathway to freedom, competence, and long-term success rather than punishment or deprivation transforms perception. Right actions become empowering rather than burdensome, and easy choices lose appeal. A growth-oriented mindset supports persistence, patience, and intentionality, sustaining disciplined behavior even under stress or challenge. Incremental challenges strengthen discipline, gradually increasing the difficulty of choices that require effort or restraint builds capacity and confidence. Starting with manageable actions and progressively embracing more demanding responsibilities fosters skill, self-trust, and mental toughness. Incremental growth ensures sustainability and prevents burnout, making discipline a reliable foundation for long-term achievement. Integration of ethics reinforces commitment. Discipline is most enduring when actions align with personal values and moral principles. Doing what is right maintains self-respect, integrity, and authenticity. Ethical alignment enhances motivation, reduces internal conflict, and ensures that disciplined behavior produces meaningful results rather than hollow compliance or short-term gain. Consistency in everyday decisions compounds impact. Small choices to act responsibly, maintain effort, and resist convenience accumulate over weeks, months, and years. Discipline is not demonstrated solely in extraordinary circumstances, but in daily, repeated actions that reinforce patterns of excellence, self-control, and reliability. Cumulative effort produces outcomes far greater than sporadic bursts of intention. Celebrating adherence to principle reinforces discipline. Acknowledging moments when the right choice was made strengthens motivation and reinforces habit formation. Recognition of progress provides emotional reinforcement, making it easier to sustain focus and resist easy alternatives in the future. Positive reinforcement solidifies patterns of deliberate action. Building discipline by doing what is right instead of what is easy transforms character, capability, and life outcomes. Each conscious choice strengthens mental fortitude, reinforces values, and advances meaningful objectives. Daily practice of principled action develops habits, resilience, focus, and self-trust. Over time, the repeated decision to act responsibly and courageously creates a life defined by integrity, achievement, and consistent growth, demonstrating that discipline is the bridge between intention and long-term success. Chapter 18. Feed your mind only with ideas that expand your life. The mind is the engine of life, shaping perception, decisions, and actions. What it consumes directly impacts behavior, attitude, and potential. Feeding the mind only with ideas that expand your life is a conscious practice that enhances clarity, creativity, and growth. Every piece of information absorbed, every thought entertained, and every belief reinforced shapes future choices and capabilities. Limiting negative or stagnant ideas restrict potential, while expansive, empowering concepts stimulate growth, resilience, and opportunity. The quality of input determines the quality of output, and disciplined selection of ideas is a foundational practice for self-improvement. Awareness of mental intake is the first step. Most people absorb information passively through media, conversations, and environment without considering its effect on their mindset. Recognizing the influence of daily inputs allows deliberate curation of thoughts, readings, and experiences. Every choice about what to read, watch, or discuss should be evaluated for its capacity to inspire, educate, or elevate. Awareness ensures the mind is a fertile ground for growth rather than cluttered with distraction or limitation. Curiosity drives selective intake. Choosing ideas that challenge, expand, or illuminate encourages exploration and learning. Engaging with new perspectives, philosophies, and disciplines increases adaptability and understanding. Curiosity stimulates the mind, making it receptive to constructive concepts while naturally filtering out stagnating or fear-based inputs. A curious mind constantly seeks improvement and expansion, reinforcing growth-oriented thinking. Books, podcasts, and educational content are tools for mental nourishment. Prioritizing sources that teach skills, encourage reflection, or inspire progress ensures intellectual energy is spent wisely. Consuming material aligned with personal development, resilience, and purpose provides practical knowledge and actionable strategies. Exposure to diverse, insightful content broadens perspective, strengthens critical thinking, and encourages application of ideas in daily life. Eliminating mental toxins is essential. Avoiding negative, fear-driven, or trivial content prevents mental clutter, distraction, and emotional drain. Repeated exposure to pessimism, gossip, or unproductive habits erodes confidence and limits potential. Conscious avoidance of destructive inputs preserves mental energy for constructive engagement, creativity, and problem-solving. Protecting the mind creates space for ideas that inspire action and growth. Reflection integrates learning. Processing new ideas critically enhances understanding and retention. Reflecting on insights allows application to personal circumstances, shaping behavior, decisions, and perspective. Integration transforms abstract concepts into practical habits, reinforcing mental expansion and strengthening capability. Daily reflection ensures that ideas absorbed are not merely information but tools for meaningful transformation. Intentional questioning strengthens mental nourishment. Asking how concepts apply to life, which beliefs support growth, and which assumptions limit potential sharpens discernment. Inquiry filters ideas, ensuring the mind internalizes what expands rather than constrains. Thoughtful questioning reinforces clarity, adaptability, and personal alignment with values, maintaining a focus on growth-oriented mental intake. Environment shapes what the mind absorbs. Surrounding oneself with positive, intelligent, and motivated individuals enhances exposure to empowering ideas. Conversely, a toxic or stagnant environment introduces limiting beliefs and discouragement. Selecting environments that stimulate curiosity, discussion, and learning supports consistent mental expansion and reinforces habits of intentional consumption. Mindful dialogue contributes to mental nourishment. Conversations with others provide opportunities to share, challenge, and refine ideas. Engaging with thoughtful, growth-focused individuals encourages exploration of new perspectives and strengthens understanding. Discouraging or negative discussions drain energy and reinforce limiting beliefs. Conscious selection of dialogue partners cultivates an ecosystem that continuously elevates thought patterns and knowledge. Journaling enhances mental clarity. Recording insights, lessons, and reflections consolidates learning and encourages analysis. Writing allows the mind to process information, identify patterns, and generate actionable ideas. Journaling creates a repository of growth-oriented concepts, ensuring ideas consumed are internalized and applied rather than forgotten or diluted by distraction. Curating inputs builds focus. Setting limits on media consumption, idle scrolling, and exposure to trivial content ensures mental energy is reserved for constructive ideas. Structured routines of reading, learning, and reflection maximize efficiency and deepen understanding. Curated consumption reinforces the habit of feeding the mind intentionally, creating consistent cognitive growth. Visualization strengthens mental absorption. Imagining how ideas can be applied, the impact of knowledge, and future possibilities transforms abstract information into actionable guidance. Visualization bridges the gap between learning and execution, ensuring mental intake leads to tangible development. Practicing imaginative application consolidates understanding and fosters confidence in implementation. Repetition reinforces concepts. Reviewing valuable ideas repeatedly strengthens memory, deepens comprehension, and encourages integration into daily thought and behavior. Consistent engagement with empowering material solidifies habits, belief systems, and skills. Repetition ensures that constructive input is not fleeting but becomes a foundation for sustained mental expansion. Critical evaluation prevents stagnation. Assessing the relevance, credibility, and practicality of ideas protects against adopting beliefs that appear inspiring but offer little constructive value. Evaluating inputs ensures that the mind remains aligned with growth-oriented objectives, avoiding distraction or misdirection. Discernment maintains focus on content that meaningfully expands capability, resilience, and vision. Action bridges learning and growth. Ideas have power only when applied. Implementing principles, strategies, or lessons transforms mental nourishment into results. Without action, ideas remain inert. With deliberate practice, they become habits, skills, and perspectives that shape life outcomes. Feeding the mind must be accompanied by doing to create true expansion. Mindset shapes perception of input. Approaching ideas with openness, curiosity, and a growth-oriented perspective enhances absorption and application. Resistance, skepticism, or closed-mindedness limits learning and reinforces pre-existing constraints. Cultivating a receptive mindset amplifies the impact of every idea consumed, turning information into transformative insight. Creativity emerges from expansive thinking. Feeding the mind with diverse, inspiring, and challenging concepts stimulates novel solutions, problem-solving, and innovation. Exposure to varying disciplines, philosophies, and approaches encourages flexible thinking and adaptability. A mind nurtured with growth-oriented ideas becomes more capable, imaginative, and effective in all areas of life. Patience allows deep integration. Not every idea produces immediate change, but consistent exposure and thoughtful application compound over time. Mental expansion is cumulative with small, daily inputs building knowledge, skill, and wisdom. Patience ensures sustained practice and prevents discouragement when immediate results are not apparent. Curated experiences reinforce learning. Engaging with environments, people, and challenges that reflect principles of growth provides practical reinforcement of mental intake. Experiential learning converts abstract ideas into lived understanding, enhancing skill, resilience, and perspective. Active engagement ensures the mind is not only fed but also tested, refined, and strengthened. Accountability magnifies impact. Sharing knowledge, teaching, or mentoring reinforces internalization of ideas. Explaining concepts to others consolidates understanding, uncovers gaps, and encourages disciplined application. Accountability transforms mental consumption into actionable growth that extends beyond personal development. Consistency solidifies practice. Regularly feeding the mind with expansive ideas creates momentum, strengthens habits, and sustains cognitive growth. Occasional exposure produces minimal impact, while habitual engagement fosters lasting transformation. Daily commitment ensures the mind evolves, adapts, and continuously expands potential. Guarding attention preserves mental resources. Conscious avoidance of distractions, negativity, and triviality ensures that energy is directed toward constructive ideas. Attention is finite, and careful selection determines the quality of thought, decision-making, and personal development. Protecting focus maintains mental clarity and accelerates growth. By intentionally choosing ideas that expand perspective, knowledge, and capability, the mind becomes a source of empowerment. Thoughtful selection, consistent consumption, reflection, application, and integration create a feedback loop of growth, innovation, and resilience. Over time, a disciplined approach to mental intake strengthens judgment, increases adaptability, and elevates every aspect of life. Feeding the mind only with ideas that expand potential ensures that every thought contributes to progress, every decision is informed, and every action aligns with long-term growth and meaningful achievement. Chapter 19. Celebrate small progress to attract more lasting success. Progress is rarely instantaneous, yet every meaningful achievement begins with small, deliberate steps. Recognizing and celebrating these steps is a critical practice that fuels motivation, reinforces positive behavior, and strengthens the trajectory toward lasting success. Human nature often emphasizes the endpoint, overlooking incremental gains, but sustained growth depends on consistent effort and acknowledgement of progress. Celebrating small victories affirms that effort produces results, builds confidence, and creates a mindset attuned to opportunity and achievement. It is not about indulgence or complacency, but about reinforcing momentum and maintaining clarity of purpose while nurturing emotional resilience. Acknowledging small progress begins with awareness. Every action that moves closer to a goal, no matter how minor, is evidence of growth. Tracking accomplishments, however modest, ensures that effort does not go unnoticed. Acknowledgement of these moments strengthens belief in personal capability and demonstrates that consistent effort compounds into measurable outcomes. Awareness is the foundation for meaningful celebration and the catalyst for sustained motivation. Celebration strengthens reinforcement. Positive feedback, whether internal or external, conditions the mind to associate effort with reward. When progress is recognized, neural pathways link action with satisfaction, increasing the likelihood of repeating productive behaviors. Reinforcement through celebration transforms routine effort into a habit of consistent, goal-oriented action. The brain begins to anticipate reward from progress itself, which reduces reliance on external validation and fosters intrinsic motivation. Small achievements build confidence. Each milestone provides evidence of competence, capability, and perseverance. Confidence derived from regular acknowledgement of progress allows individuals to approach larger challenges with assurance. Incremental wins function as proof that sustained effort yields results, reinforcing commitment and reducing fear of failure or stagnation. The accumulation of small victories creates a psychological foundation for tackling ambitious objectives. Reflection enhances recognition. Taking the time to evaluate steps taken, lessons learned, and improvements made illuminates progress that may otherwise go unnoticed. Reflection transforms routine action into purposeful growth. By identifying the connection between daily efforts and long-term objectives, individuals cultivate awareness that strengthens both discipline and satisfaction. Thoughtful reflection ensures celebration is meaningful, specific, and motivating. Gratitude reinforces celebration. Appreciating accomplishments, no matter the scale, shifts focus from scarcity or unmet goals to abundance and capability. Gratitude amplifies the positive effects of recognition, fostering a mindset that emphasizes progress, growth, and opportunity. Regular practice of gratitude enhances emotional resilience, sustains motivation, and strengthens the capacity to maintain consistent effort over time. Emotional engagement makes celebration impactful. Recognizing achievements with attention, pride, and satisfaction deepens the psychological effect, reinforcing motivation. Experiencing genuine emotion tied to success solidifies learning, enhances self-efficacy, and strengthens the connection between effort and result. Emotional investment ensures that progress is internalized, creating momentum that propels future action. Public acknowledgement can amplify reinforcement. Sharing progress with supportive peers, mentors, or communities creates social validation, strengthens accountability, and reinforces behavior. Positive reinforcement from others encourages continued commitment and fosters a network of mutual encouragement. External recognition can act as both motivation and confirmation that actions are producing meaningful outcomes. Reward structures enhance momentum. Deliberate, proportionate rewards for small achievements encourage repetition of desired behaviors. These rewards need not be extravagant, but should be meaningful enough to create emotional satisfaction and motivation. Rewarding effort signals to the mind that consistent, focused action produces benefit, reinforcing the habit of disciplined engagement toward goals. Mindset influences the power of celebration. Viewing progress as a sign of growth rather than a final destination ensures that recognition fuels continued effort. Celebrating small victories should emphasize learning, improvement, and forward motion rather than complacency. A growth-oriented mindset interprets every achievement as evidence of capability and an invitation to pursue the next challenge. Momentum compounds success. Each acknowledged accomplishment builds energy and motivation for subsequent steps. Small wins create a positive feedback loop that accelerates progress and reduces resistance to effort. Recognizing incremental achievements ensures that focus remains on consistent action, producing results that accumulate over time into significant outcomes. Consistency is reinforced through celebration. Regular acknowledgement of small achievements creates a pattern of recognition that aligns with consistent effort. Celebrating daily or weekly progress conditions behavior, encourages perseverance, and strengthens habits. Consistent reinforcement transforms effort into a natural rhythm of action, reflection, and reward. Visualization strengthens the effect of celebration. Imagining the impact of progress, the steps that led to it, and the next milestones deepens understanding and motivation. Visualization links emotional satisfaction to tangible actions, reinforcing the connection between effort and outcome. This process enhances clarity of purpose, reinforces direction, and sustains long-term focus. Accountability ensures continuity. Reporting progress to oneself or others reinforces recognition and commitment. Accountability transforms celebration into an ongoing mechanism that encourages consistent action, prevents complacency, and fosters continuous growth. Sharing accomplishments builds external support while solidifying internal acknowledgement of achievement. Learning from progress amplifies value. Each small step provides insight into strategies, strengths, and areas for improvement. Recognizing accomplishments also encourages analysis of what worked and why, creating actionable knowledge that guides future action. Celebration, combined with learning, transforms minor victories into tools for continuous improvement. Resilience is strengthened by acknowledging incremental success. Recognition of effort in the face of challenges reinforces the capacity to endure setbacks without losing motivation. Celebrating small wins affirms that persistence produces results, encouraging perseverance when obstacles arise. Emotional reinforcement sustains effort even under adversity. Goal alignment enhances the impact of celebration. Recognizing achievements connected to meaningful objectives reinforces purpose and clarifies the relationship between action and long-term vision. This alignment ensures that celebration not only motivates but also strengthens commitment to goals that truly matter. Awareness of relevance amplifies satisfaction and directs energy toward constructive endeavors. Focus is sharpened through recognition. Celebrating progress encourages attention to specific tasks, behaviors, and strategies that produce results. This focus increases efficiency, reduces wasted effort, and ensures that action is purposeful. By highlighting successful steps, celebration creates clarity about which behaviors to continue and refine. Patience is cultivated. Recognizing small achievements develops appreciation for gradual progress and reinforces understanding that significant outcomes are the result of cumulative effort. Patience reduces frustration, strengthens perseverance, and encourages consistent action even when results appear distant. Celebration becomes a tool to sustain engagement over long-term efforts. Integration of celebration into routine sustains growth. Making recognition of progress a regular practice ensures that motivation remains high, confidence is nurtured, and effort is continuously reinforced. Daily, weekly, or milestone-based acknowledgement embeds momentum into habit, creating a stable foundation for consistent performance. Ultimately, celebrating small progress attracts lasting success. Recognition reinforces productive behavior, builds confidence, sustains motivation, and aligns effort with long-term objectives. Each small victory compounds into momentum, enhancing clarity, resilience, and persistence. A life structured around acknowledgement of incremental growth transforms effort into achievement, creating a trajectory where consistent action, reflection, and celebration combine to produce meaningful, enduring success that grows naturally over time. Chapter 25. Keep faith strong and the universe will open paths. Faith is the force that sustains action when results are not yet visible. Maintaining strong faith provides the foundation for persistence, clarity, and resilience, ensuring that efforts remain consistent even in uncertainty. When belief in possibility is unwavering, challenges are approached as temporary obstacles rather than insurmountable barriers. Strong faith aligns thought, emotion, and action with long-term goals, creating a mental environment that attracts opportunities, solutions, and resources that might otherwise go unnoticed. Trust in the process transforms uncertainty into direction and perseverance into progress. Faith begins with confidence in oneself and the actions being taken, knowing that effort invested is meaningful, that growth is occurring even when invisible, and that each step moves closer to purpose sustains energy and focus. Confidence reinforced by faith prevents discouragement, protects against impatience, and strengthens the ability to navigate setbacks. Each choice to act despite doubt strengthens internal trust and reinforces the capacity to endure challenges. Clarity enhances faith. Understanding objectives, values, and priorities reduces anxiety and uncertainty, allowing belief to manifest as sustained action. When intentions are clearly defined, faith is not blind but informed by purpose, strategy, and realistic expectation. A clear vision guides behavior, anchors decision-making, and transforms faith into a practical, actionable force that shapes outcomes. Patience strengthens belief. Results often lag behind effort, yet enduring with consistent, focused action solidifies character and builds trust in the unfolding process. Patience prevents rash decisions, mitigates frustration, and preserves energy for deliberate, purposeful steps. Strong faith coupled with patience allows momentum to accumulate naturally and reinforces confidence in eventual success. Visualization reinforces faith by connecting intention with imagined outcomes. Mentally rehearsing success, feeling the associated emotions, and imagining the steps required to achieve goals strengthens belief in possibility. Visualization makes abstract objectives tangible, emotionally real, and psychologically compelling, bridging the gap between aspiration and action. Experiencing outcomes internally strengthens conviction and motivates consistent effort. Persistence manifests faith in tangible ways. Consistent action despite difficulty demonstrates belief in purpose, reinforces discipline, and attracts opportunities through effort and engagement. Faith without action is inert, but sustained effort transforms belief into results. Each challenge met with persistence reinforces internal trust and increases the likelihood of unexpected solutions and breakthroughs. Faith is reinforced by alignment with values. Acting in harmony with principles and long-term objectives generates confidence in decisions and reduces internal conflict. When choices reflect integrity and purpose, belief in the unfolding process strengthens. Values-based action provides a compass, ensuring that faith is directed toward constructive, meaningful goals rather than fleeting or trivial pursuits. Adaptability ensures faith remains productive. Challenges, change, and unpredictability are inevitable. Maintaining belief while adjusting strategies to meet evolving circumstances demonstrates resilience and intelligence. Faith is not rigidity, it is steadfast trust that aligns with flexibility, allowing obstacles to be navigated without compromising vision. Adaptability ensures continuous forward motion even when plans shift. Surrounding oneself with supportive influences strengthens conviction. Exposure to individuals who embody faith, optimism, and purpose reinforces belief in possibility. Mentors, peers, and communities provide perspective, encouragement, and accountability, enhancing the ability to maintain focus under pressure. Positive influence amplifies internal faith and creates an environment conducive to opportunity recognition and proactive action. Reflection strengthens trust in progress. Regularly evaluating accomplishments, lessons learned, and personal growth confirms that effort produces results even when they are not immediately visible. Reflection provides feedback, reinforces the connection between action and outcome, and strengthens confidence in continuing along the chosen path. Faith is solidified when evidence of growth is acknowledged, no matter how subtle. Emotional management enhances the power of belief. Faith flourishes when anxiety, doubt, and fear are recognized but not allowed to dictate behavior. Emotional discipline channels energy toward constructive action and sustains clarity of purpose. By regulating emotions, the mind remains open to opportunity, focused on solutions, and resilient under pressure, reinforcing belief that challenges are navigable and success is achievable. Gratitude amplifies faith. Recognizing progress, resources, relationships, and opportunities already present reinforces confidence in the unfolding process. Gratitude shifts focus from scarcity to abundance, reinforcing trust in the natural alignment of effort and reward. Acknowledging what exists strengthens belief in what is possible and attracts further positive circumstances. Action amplifies belief. Every step taken toward a goal validates faith by demonstrating the practical impact of intention. Commitment to effort, regardless of immediate visibility of results, converts belief into momentum. Faith motivates action, and action, in turn, reinforces faith, creating a feedback loop that steadily accelerates progress toward objectives. Focus sustains trust in outcomes. Concentrating on meaningful tasks and long-term objectives reduces vulnerability to distraction, doubt, and impatience. Maintaining attention on the critical path reinforces the belief that effort is directed appropriately and that each step, no matter how small, contributes to eventual success. Focused effort magnifies the efficacy of faith. Resilience is cultivated through maintaining faith. Belief in the ultimate outcome provides strength when facing difficulty, failure, or uncertainty. Resilient individuals persist without surrender, transforming setbacks into learning opportunities and reinforcing confidence in the process. Sustained faith allows recovery, adaptation, and continued effort, ensuring that challenges do not derail progress. Learning reinforces belief. Extracting lessons from each experience, whether success or failure, validates effort and strengthens understanding of how progress occurs. Knowledge gained through trial, observation, and reflection reinforces the trust that the universe responds to aligned action. Faith deepens when evidence of growth, adaptation, and progress is acknowledged and applied. Mindset shapes the manifestation of faith. A perspective oriented toward possibility, abundance, and growth nurtures trust in outcomes. Belief in potential creates openness to opportunities, strengthens resilience, and reinforces daily effort. Mindset is the lens through which faith interprets challenges, evaluates progress, and guides decision-making. Consistency fortifies conviction. Regular, deliberate action, reinforced by belief in its ultimate purpose, compounds over time. Repetition of principled effort demonstrates that faith is not passive but active, producing results incrementally. Over time, consistent practice validates belief, generating momentum, confidence, and tangible progress. Hope sustains focus during uncertainty. Confidence in eventual alignment and opportunity encourages perseverance, even when the path is unclear. Hope ensures that energy remains directed, patience is maintained, and engagement continues despite temporary obstacles. Maintaining hope complements faith, reinforcing resilience and sustained action. Integration of faith with practical action produces tangible results. Belief without execution is inert, while effort without trust can be inconsistent. Aligning mindset, purpose, and action ensures that faith becomes a productive force that attracts opportunities, clarifies direction, and strengthens perseverance. This combination allows paths to emerge organically as consistent effort meets aligned intention. Trust in timing reinforces faith. Outcomes rarely occur on demand, yet the universe responds to preparation, alignment, and persistent effort. Recognizing that results unfold according to broader processes reduces anxiety, strengthens patience, and sustains commitment. Trust in timing transforms uncertainty into clarity, reinforcing confidence in eventual fulfillment. Keeping faith strong transforms perception, decision-making, and behavior. It fosters patience, resilience, clarity, and consistent effort. Strong belief amplifies motivation, attracts opportunity, and aligns action with purpose. By sustaining faith, obstacles are navigated with composure, challenges become manageable, and paths that were once hidden gradually appear. Belief becomes the lens through which effort produces results, ensuring that persistent action, aligned intention, and unwavering trust converge to create meaningful, lasting, and often unexpected opportunities, demonstrating that the universe consistently responds when faith is maintained and effort is unwavering.